Thanks for joining us tonight. It's awesome to see everybody here. So I think it's 4:01. Maybe we'll get going, Maria, so that we can get on with our sessions here. So hello, everybody. My name is Caroline Depetit. I'm the Associate Dean for Business Administration, and I'm just joining you to the session right now, just to welcome you. But before we start, I would like to acknowledge that we're on the unceded traditional territories of the Tsleil-Waututh, Squamish, and Musqueam Nation. Did I say that in order? Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish Nation, which is where our campuses are located, and always really, really grateful to have the opportunity to work on these territories. The School of Business is increasing more and more their engagement with Indigenous, where we have a strong commitment to reconciliation. So please keep on checking our website. We'll have a few things happening in the future, one of them being an event on November 9th, where we have Indigenous entrepreneurs coming to talk to our stakeholders, our students, our faculty about reconciliation in business. So really excited to have that event coming. So again, really important for us. So tonight, you're here to listen to different departments. We have 6 departments in the School of Business. So every department is going to talk about what they're about. So I think, Maria, was that it, how you wanted me to introduce? So I'll let you take it. Maria, before I go, do you want me to come back for the next sessions, or is this just for mine?
We'll just see you back with us for business administration, Caroline.
Perfect. Enjoy your session, everybody.
Thank you, and welcome everyone. Thank you so much, Caroline, for welcoming us in. Caroline is our Associate Dean for the Business Administration Department. My name is Maria Bushman, and I'm one of the Student Recruitment Specialists at School of Business and Media, and we are so happy to have you all here today. For today's session, it is in webinar format. That means that if you have any questions, please use the Q&A function down below. And to answer your questions, we have a pretty esteemed team of question answers. We have myself. We have our other student recruitment specialist, Sheena Clarkson. We have our international advisor, Eva Wong. We also have 2 program advisors. We have Sandra, who is our part-time studies program advisor, and we also have Janice, who will be our full-time studies program advisor. So we're all here to answer your questions. If you have any throughout the presentation, please throw them below. And if you have any program-specific questions, also throw them in the question answers, and we will get to those either live after the finished presentation, or we will try and get to them in the chat as well. And can I please get the next slide? So for our agenda today, we will start off with my introduction as well as Caroline's. We will then be talking about global leadership. At 4:10, we will move into accounting, finance, and insurance. We will have broadcast media communications at 4:40. 5:20, we have business administration. 6 o'clock, we have digital arts, media, and design. 6:40, we'll be going into marketing management, and we'll be finishing off with operations management at 7:20. This will be a great time to screenshot this slide in case maybe you don't want to stay for all the programs and you want to come in and out of the webinar depending on what you'd like to join us for. You are allowed to do that. Okay, please get the next slide. So quick facts about BCIT before we get started. We are the 2nd largest business school in British Columbia. We have over 30 full-time programs, 65 part-time programs, and 300 part-time courses, with more being added pretty frequently. We have many applied and work integrated learning opportunities throughout the school. We have unique school clubs and global education opportunities as well. And we have faculty that have worked in industry before joining us to teach. We also have a 96% employment rate for graduates. We are very passionate about getting everyone job ready as they finish our programs. Can I please get the next slide? So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Mark Nakamura. He is the program head for Global Leadership Graduate Certificate, part of our Global Relations Department. He's going to chat a little bit about that certificate as we move forward. Over to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you, Maria. So I'm going to talk about the Graduate Certificate in Global Leadership. It's one of 2 graduate or master's level programs in the School of Business. Next slide, please. So a quick overview, it's 6 courses to complete this program over 9 months, starting in September, finishing in May, end of May. And this is a full-time 1-year program with blended course delivery. So evenings at the downtown campus with some online learning as well. So it's a hybrid. So in a typical week, you're probably going to do 2 classes per week. in class, and then the rest will be online. It's a cohort model, just like our full-time day school programs, and it culminates in a capstone project where you actually get to work on a real business problem with a real business. And there are also master degree laddering opportunities. We already have 3 that are officially signed and ready to go, and there are more coming soon. Next slide, please. So the course format, it'll be 3 evenings. So this semester, for example, we have a Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evening classes. As I said, sometimes the classes are going to be fully online, whereas other times they'll be in class. This is the reason why we designed it like this, is that so that students can be working full-time. So most of our students are working professionals, and they take this program on top of that, and they complete a graduate certificate at the end of 1 year. And many of them have the intention of going right into a master's program following that. Next slide, please. So in the capstone project that I mentioned earlier, you're going to take on the role of a professional working with a real problem, and you're going to be using the concepts that you learned in your courses to solve this real industry problem. So it's very practical, very hands-on learning, and just like our full-time day school programs, you work with a real company, and if you do well on a project, there's potential that you can maybe be hired by the company that you're working with. Next slide. So at BCIT School of Business, we have 2 degree programs, Bachelor of Accounting, Bachelor of Business Administration. And this is a program that those graduates can enter and move on to do a master's degree program. We're also looking at other master's degree completions. Next slide, please. And this is a quick overview of the program matrix. As I said, 3 courses in the fall, 3 courses in the winter. Next slide, please. And these are 2 of the pathways. The third I just became official actually yesterday. So these are international ones, one in Italy, one in Germany. And we also have a local pathway for international students who are looking to stay in Canada because this is their international experience. Next slide, please. So who should apply? So anyone who has an undergraduate degree, and it doesn't have to be in business, it could be in any field, those looking to improve their leadership skills and also gain intercultural competencies and gaining a global mindset, which is really important these days. And I believe that's the last slide. So this is my contact information. Please contact me if you have any questions about my program, or you can contact Simonetta. And if you have any general questions, contact Program Advising. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mark, for a quick overview on global leadership. We do not have any questions in the chat at this time, but if any of you do have any questions specific to global leadership, Mark will still be hanging out with us for a few minutes to answer them in the Q&A function, if you do have any. If not, you can obviously reach out to him as mentioned below. Can I please have the next slide? Questions? We have none. So next slide again. Perfect. So now we're going to be moving into our accounting, finance, and insurance programs. Now for this, we are being joined by Chris Grisat, who is our financial planning program head, very knowledgeable on all topics though. So as of now, pass it over to Chris.
Thank you, Maria. Good evening, everybody. I'm just looking at this slide. It's really nice to see it. It's not just a random marketing slide. These are my former students at their boardroom in downtown Vancouver at Canaccord Genuity. The gentleman on the far left graduated in 2016, earned his CFP designation and has done really well. And the student, the lady at the far end there in the black suit, they also earned her CFP designation. And then today is senior financial planning, a senior financial planning advisor in the tax and estate planning group. So they've graduated from BCIT and they've launched their careers and they're doing wonderful. And that's that slide. That's not just a marketing slide. Next slide, please. So today I want to talk about what makes us different. There's paths. There's a full-time path if that's what you're interested in. We can do it in part-time. So full-time, part-time. What are the entrance requirements? So the marks that you've had to achieve to get into BCIT. advanced placement. So for anyone out there who's attending that's interested in our program, accounting, finance, financial planning, or insurance, if you have a degree, you might be able to cut the time in half. So I'll repeat that. If you have a degree, make sure you pay attention to the advanced placement slides coming up a little bit later on. And then I'll tell you some dates where if you want to get more information, some other information sessions. Slide. So what makes us different? First things first, small sets. So for example, in financial planning, you'll be in set P for planning, and there's about 25 to 30 students. You get to know each other. You work in a cohort group. And once you're in the system, all your courses are all laid out for you in the block course registration. You don't have to try to find this course or that course. Once you're in, it's all laid out. You have your set, and you get to know your classmates. Skills and labs. So we want to make it very realistic. There's a reason why employers come to BCIT to hire our grads. There's a reason why they're in great demand. It's because they can hit the ground running. One way we ensure that is to make sure that our labs have real life situations, that you're going to attain the technical skills so that on day one, when you launch your career, you can, excuse me, this is embarrassing. You can hit the ground running. Class mimic industry expectations, of course. So we want to replicate what it would be like on the job site as best as we can. The courses are in depth, more in depth than anywhere else. For example, in the planning program, I could say we have an advanced program, rigorous, well respected. And if you're here to launch a career, to upgrade your job, the last slides are very important. Very high employment rate upon graduation, and we're connected. Your instructors are all formerly from industry, and they're well connected. So you're going to have industry coming in. You might have mentorships, career prep. You're going to be introduced to industry prior to graduation. I can say in finance and financial planning, we're in October, students are already being introduced to firms that want to hire them. We take pride in that. One of the things we say at BCIT is that BCIT works, and it does. Next slide. So your choices, there's accounting, and we'll talk a little bit about that, finance and insurance. And I want to just clarify, another choice, specific choice is financial planning. So accounting, finance, insurance, and financial planning. And as you can see, if you want to earn a diploma or an advanced diploma or a degree, we have these opportunities for you. And we'll get to that on the next slide. Okay, so let's start with accounting. Very general off the top, you're preparing financial statements, income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statements, looking at strategies for reducing taxation, financial forecasting. One thing to keep in mind, the gold standard designation in accounting is the CPA designation, and our program prepares students to pursue that if they want. They don't have to, but it's designed to allow those students to pursue the gold standard, which is the CPA designation. And as you can see, the statistics, 94% of graduates are employed in the accounting-related job within 6 months of graduation. There's a high employment rate. Employers are coming and recruiting actively. Next slide. Some career opportunities, accounting clerk, staff accountant, budget analyst, account payable. And as you can see, as you move up, maybe a financial analyst, senior tax manager. The opportunities are endless in accounting. With these public practice or private, there's all kinds of opportunities. I was just actually looking at my LinkedIn, a former student. I don't teach accounting classes, or I maybe do an elective for them. That was one student that I saw. Now he works in insolvency. He started in public practice, and now he's working as in the insolvency for people or businesses that are going bankrupt or need to have a consumer disposal. So the opportunities are endless, but here's a few in front of you. Next slide, please. Finance. So this is kind of in the middle. Like, you need to have an understanding of accounting to understand finance. Finance, in a general sense, it's the decisions to optimize the accumulation of wealth. That can be on a personal level or at a corporate level, or governments could have governmental finance. We often think of finance in the corporate aspect of it. So someone who works in finance in a corporation is responsible to help the corporation make decisions to optimize the accumulation of wealth. And if you do finance, you still can continue to pursue your CPA. You will take the accounting courses, and you'll also take the CSE course. You can see there that bottom slide, the Canadian Securities course. So it allows you it's a little bit more flexible. What I would say to students is this: accounting has a clear path. Financial planning has a clear path. Insurance has a clear path. Finance, you're going to have to be a little bit creative because there's all kinds of opportunities there, but it's not so clear. I'm gonna ask you to continue. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, thank you. So the positions, yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah, on the next slide. The positions, as you can see, analysts, managers, portfolio managers, wealth management. So some of our students go into wealth management. So that's the management of people's financial assets, stocks, bonds, portfolios like that. And other people work in the financial decision-making centers of a corporation as an analyst or a finance manager. Let me think here. Yeah, I think that covers it on those career. Oh, no, that's what I wanted to say. So there's another thing too, I can see if you're here about finance or even in the School of Business, there's a new industry that's emerging in Vancouver, and it's very exciting. It's the fintech industry. So there's going to be new job titles there emerging. We have BC-based fintech. So they're taking the finance or the wealth management and they're digitizing it. So now if you come with skills in computers or anything to do with tech, there's a merging of it. So there's new opportunities occurring now. It's very exciting. So if you haven't looked into fintech, Google it, Google FinTech Vancouver, BC. Their finance is morphing now and the opportunities are increasing. So it's a very, very exciting time. Can you continue? Next slide, please. Okay, so then financial planning. So this is a very clear path. Financial planning students are working towards earning the gold standard CFP designation, Certified Financial Planner. Before you get that, you can have the QAFP designation. At BCIT, you complete all the core curriculum required, so you can graduate and start writing exams and get licensed. If you become a financial planner, you're working with wealthy clients. Wealthy clients have accumulated wealth and they need advice on tax, retirement, estate, risk management, cash debt management, education planning, and asset management. It's a comprehensive field of advice. You're seen as an expert and you'll be working with high net worth clients. Within our program, you can see there that students also complete the Canadian Securities course. And the demand for our graduates has never been higher. I have never seen so much demand for graduates. In fact, recruit has begun already for our full-time students and our part-time students if they want to participate. Most don't because they're already in the industry. But the recruiting is starting now for financial planners, financial advisors. So next slide. And the next slide, please. Yeah. So you can see that the titles are all kind of the same: financial planner, financial advisor, planning, giving the advice, comprehensive advice for high net worth clients. And then we could add another one: portfolio managers. Often financial planning students work towards becoming a portfolio manager. So they have hundreds of millions of dollars that they advise on directing where these assets should go. We have lots of graduates doing that now, and every year we have firms coming to recruit. I'll throw out some firm names that are going to be recruiting right now: Raymond James, RBC Dominion Securities, CIBC Wood Gundy, Van City, what else? IAIG, Edward Jones, Blue Shore. I could go, the list goes on. So there's so much opportunity there. That's if you're interested in that path. If that's something that you're interested in, definitely take a look at our info sessions or reach out. Next slide, please. As you can see, there's accounting, there's finance. There's accounting and financial planning on the spectrum, and then there's finance in the middle. So accounting is very clear, CPA. Financial planning is very clear, CFP. Finance, you could pursue a CFA at some point, but it's kind of a merging of the two, leaving your options open. If you kind of have an idea of what you want to do, you know the path that you want to go on, then finance might be for you. Continue, please. Here's another one. This is often, a lot of people don't know about this option. It's a really, really strong option. It's the insurance and risk management. This is commercial insurance, not life insurance or disability insurance, those type of things. This is the insurance needs of business and corporations. You can see that the job placement has been 100% for the last 2 years. So everyone in the class that wanted to launch a career could. Let's see, 8 out of 10 earn their CIP designation. So they'll be designated within the risk management program. You do the courses as you go along so that you're earning a professional designation. And they have industry nights. So that's just what the program head does, is bring industry in, and they're just, it's similar to financial planning in that industry comes and they're actively recruiting the graduates because they're in such high demand. It's a niche program. The planning program is niche. It's one or two sets. The insurance program is niche. There's not a lot of grads. There'll be more employers than graduates. So that's kind of, that's a great place to be if you're a graduating student. Next slide, please. And the career opportunities, adjuster, agent, risk management. They'll be contacting commercial. If commercial insurance sounds interesting to you, that could be something you could reach out to Sean. We'll see the contact information in a moment. Next slide, please. Okay, so like I said, in accounting, the gold standard is the CPA designation. So if you decided that you want to earn your CPA designation and you already have a degree, you can skip a step. So if you have a degree, you can skip a step and just focus on the CPA prep courses that you need to do. We have a program designed specifically for that. It's 12 courses, full-time or part-time, and you can just get right into it. You made a decision, you want to earn your CPA and you have a degree, check this out, and you can get there faster. Next slide, please. Bachelor of Accounting. So you made a decision that you want to have a degree and you want to specialize in accounting, 120 credits, 4 years. There'll be more advanced courses in accounting. It can be used towards, it definitely helps you work towards your CPA or your CFA designations, and the time frames it takes. Full-time 8 to 16 months and part-time 2 to 5 years. And there's opportunities for international exchange while you're doing your courses. Next slide, please. You made a decision, you want a degree, but you don't want it to be so focused in accounting. You can have something a little bit more broad, the BBA, focusing on obviously business courses, critical and strategic thinking skills. It takes 1 more year after your diploma. So the diploma is a 2-year program, 1 more year. 12 months takes 2.5 years part-time. You can have transfer credits. So if you've taken some liberal arts courses elsewhere, you should inquire and see if you can get credit for it. And again, there's opportunities for international education, so you can take courses abroad. Next slide, please. Okay, here's the requirements. So you know you want to come. You've decided that you want to make a change and go to BCIT. What do you need to have right here? This is for the diploma program. 2 years of education in English, 67 in English 12, or English First Peoples 12, and then here are some marks that you need. So what you should do is you should contact admissions. Tell admissions a little bit about you, and then that's the best way. Don't make any assumptions. Sometimes there's exceptions cases. Just contact admissions and take it from there. Next slide. Advanced placement. So for those students, we're talking about finance, the finance option, financial planning option, accounting option. If you have a degree, you can, it's a 2-year program. If you have a degree, you may be able to get the diploma done in 1 year. So cut the time in half. You might have to take 1 or 2 makeup courses in the summer, but you can get the program done in 1 year if you have a degree. So you can see enter the diploma halfway through. So you cut it in half. Based on successful completion of previous credential, again, contact admissions, see what you have works. And you have to take some 1 or 2 courses over here. If if you don't have the transfer credit. So FMG 1100 and 2100 before applying. So you can do that in the summer, and then you just come on in and start in the halfway through, which can save you a lot of time. Very good. Next slide, please. Part-time study. So we're talking about full-time. You can also pursue all these opportunities in part-time studies. How it works is a part-time studies course is 1 class per week for 3 to 4 hours, usually lasts 3 months, 12 to 13 weeks. We have a downtown campus, we have a Burnaby campus, and now we have an online. You can take classes online, and you can work towards your CPA designation, your CIP designation, your CRM designations, excuse me. Tuition fees are available. You can just look online, but 400, 700, 800 plus textbooks, of course. And you need to have English 12 or an equivalent to enroll in the classes. So you can take it piece by piece in the part-time study. So if you want to earn your CFP designation, you can take your planning 1 class, your tax class, your security analysis class at your leisure, at your pace. We have a lot of busy professionals doing it. In the students that I see in part-time studies are often people who are in industry, or some aren't, but most are already in industry and they're upgrading. But some people are making a career change and they just wanted to go step by step, or they want to try it step by step first before making the commitment in day school. Next slide, please. So that's just showing the part-time program opportunities. So in accounting, you got computerized accounting, and you earn an associate certificate. I'm not going to slide read to you. You can see it right there. Yeah, exactly. Pretty self-explanatory. Part-time registrations there's always an opportunity to enroll January, April, June, September. You just find the course, check online, and you can see the next time it's offered. It's very important to understand that seats are often for first come, first serve. So your class can be full. So you want to enroll as soon as possible. And that goes for day school too, especially for financial planning and risk management, insurance and risk management, because they're usually one set. So that's full, then you're on the wait list. So make sure if that's something you're interested in full-time studies, that you get the admissions immediately. And for part-time courses, it's first come, first serve. So you want to enroll as soon as possible. Well, there's a little note there. Winter for the next term, it's October 22nd. That last slide, it's October 22nd when the doors open for registration. And as you can see, you can ladder your designation to something else. So you can earn an associate certificate, add more courses, turn that into a certificate, add more courses, earn your diploma, and then you can add more and earn your degree. So you can stack it. The stackability of our program is very good. Next slide. Okay, so more information sessions. So if you want to learn more about the full-time, take a screenshot right there, part-time right there, and risk management right there. And if it's for financial planning, check the BCIT calendar, because there will be more information sessions. We're going to have information sessions about the career opportunities in financial planning. So just go to the BCIT calendar and keep an eye on it from time to time. Screenshot that to get even more in-depth information on the programs. Next slide. Yeah, and here we go. Here are the contact information. So what I want to draw your attention to is Sean Sinclair. That's for the insurance. So anything that commercial insurance was interesting, Sean Sinclair. If you're interested in financial planning, you can reach out to me, Chris Crissat, right there. And accounting, there are the program heads for accounting. And if it's a part-time studies admin issue, question, or course issue, you can contact Deacon. So take a screenshot of that as well. Pop an email, and any of the instructors are happy to answer your questions. And then we're here. Do we have questions?
So we currently don't have any questions in the chat regarding the FMGT programs, but so this is an opportunity. If anyone has any, please feel free to throw them in the chat. We have about 10 minutes left in this session, so we're here to answer any questions you may have.
I'll take a 1 minute to, I wanted to say this at the beginning of my presentation, but I'll say it now. I see there's 47 people here. And for the people who attended, I just want to say, good job. You know, that making a change is the hardest thing is that first step. The first step was coming here and getting the information. And I'm sure there'll be a handful of people in this room here today that I'll see in a class on campus or online in the future. And you made that very first step. And I find that really inspiring, that first step towards something new. You could have easily have not came today, but you did. And maybe hopefully you got some information that helped you. And if I see you in class next year or next term, let me know that you came to this information session. It's very rewarding to see people make positive change in their life. And I think there's no questions, so I'm going to take that as it was very clear. Oh, there you go. Thank you guys for the info. Thank you. Thank you. So Maria, what do? I do I just sit here and smile at the camera, or?
Perfect. Okay, well, our next session is starting at 4:40. So at the moment, we'll just let everyone kind of hang out for a bit. Chris, if you'd like to just stay in case there are some people that want to ask some questions in the chat in the next 10 minutes. But for now, I guess we'll take a quick break if anyone needs to run, get a drink of water, anything like that. And we'll be back at 4:40 for the Broadcast Media Communications info session. Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are now going to get started with our Broadcast and Media Communications segment. So I'll get the next slide, please. Now, for our Broadcast Media Communications section, we are joined today by 4 wonderful members from all parts of Broadcast Media Communications. So the radio, broadcast and media, broadcast and journalism, part-time coordinator, as well as our TV studies. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Mary Kay Thurston, who's going to start us off and start us off with a presentation. Over to you, Mary Kay. Oh, Mary Kay, you are currently muted.
What a great introduction that was. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. That's a beautiful picture you're looking at. That is actually a BCIT slide from our campus. It looks like this must have been taken recently with the fall colors. Anyway, a group of television students out on a shoot. Next slide, please. So today, our agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about what makes our broadcast program unique and so successful. We're going to have an overview of each of our 3 full-time programs. We're going to talk about the entrance requirements for those programs. And for each of the full-time programs, we have a representative, an instructor who teaches into that program area. And then we're going to finish up with me describing our part-time studies programs, and then the last slide to tell you about the next information session if you should want to attend any others. Next slide, please. So our programming, actually BCIT is famous for this in almost all program areas, but in particular in broadcast, we have very small class sizes. So we split our classes into sets, and those groups are never more than, actually with broadcast, it's never more than 23 students per set. So we have very small, you move through the program with these small groups that you get to know very well over the 2 years, which makes for very successful education. Everybody is registered together. So in full-time studies, you don't choose your programming. We've sort of, with our advisory committees and over years and years of experience and changing year to year, we've determined what suits you best in order to have you succeed and find employment. So you actually take a block set of courses and there's no electives, just what we offer is put together for you. We have a lot of lab work, a lot of applied work. Everything is very, very applied. So we run a radio station, 2 radio stations actually now. We have a television news program, and we have online programming as well. So everything we do mimics industry, so that that's why we're as successful as we are. When you leave our programs, you're very confident and ready to start work right away. You do a lot of teamwork while you're with us. So if you're an independent person, that's great, but you also need to be willing and excited about working in teams. And probably our number one thing that gives us such high employment is that we have industry practicum. So in your second year, in all of three of the programs, you will go out into industry and work for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks a number of times. Next slide, please. So our full-time programs, we have 3 of them. Journalism, and these are all diplomas, by the way. These are all day school, except for your own work you do in weekends and evenings. But when you come to classes, it's during the day. And each of these are 2-year programs, and they lead to a diploma. So we have a journalism, a radio, and a television and video full-time program. Next slide. So now I'm going to hand it over to the representative who's here today, one of the instructors from the program. I introduce you to Ian Foote.
Thank you, MK. Hello, everybody. As MK said, I'm a teacher in the journalism program. What's cool about journalism is that we have 3 different areas of study. We have radio and television news, as well as digital journalism. So just to walk you through some of those rotations, in radio, you would be anchoring hourly newscasts. You're in the field as a reporter. You do some long form interviewing. MK mentioned that we have a second radio station that's new for us this year, which we're really excited about. It's called 1680, The Crow. It's for, it runs around the campus. It's a campus-wide signal, but it runs with our main flagship station, Evolution, in terms of journalism and radio students have a chance to be on air more often, produce more content, and just be more, more opportunities to actually be on air. In our television program, we produce a weekly 30-minute news magazine program, and that airs on Facebook Live. I think actually this term it's scaled back to once every 2 weeks, but all the students will be shooting their own stories, editing their own stories. They put everything together, as well as the students will produce it and anchor it. There is a show that is done with the television program in tandem with them that airs as well. But that is another good opportunity for students to really get hands-on experience, both in front of the camera and behind the camera. And in digital, we have a website, bcitnews.com. And our students do a bunch of content for that, including online articles that they do, as well as longer form features and a lot of different multimedia options through the website. They also run our social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and a lot of content on YouTube as well. Mary Kay mentioned the practicum opportunities. So those come in second year. Our first year is all about learning those foundational skills. So things like writing and editing, announcing, reporting, news gathering. And then in second year, you go through those rotations where you'll spend a few weeks in radio, a few weeks in television, a few weeks in digital, and also a few weeks in a practicum placement. And we do 3 practicum placements in your second year in our program. I think that's everything I wanted to highlight on that slide. Can we get to the next one? So some career opportunities. You can see we do a lot of things in terms of your regular traditional news agencies, but we also have media relations, sports broadcasting is, a lot of students come into this for sports and they find jobs there, researching, producing, and writing. So there's a lot of job opportunities that are outside of just the typical hard news reporting. But if that interests you, then there's a lot of opportunities in that area too. Okay, next slide. So the graduate outcomes, you can see we have a 95% employment rate. 88% say they were satisfied with their education. 70% are able to get a job within the first 2 months, which is something we're really proud of. And that is a lot to do with our practicums. And 72% say they're very satisfied or very useful with the program was useful in getting their jobs. So those numbers we're very proud of in our program, and we continue to work on getting those to keep going up. Okay, next slide. Okay, and I'll pass things over to my radio colleague. I'm not too sure who that is.
So one thing to mention, Leon, it does seem like, sorry, just talking to our backend person, it does seem like David and Todd are still listed as attendees, even though they are presenters for this segment.
Yeah, I just got a text from David. He's going to sign back. He would be after the radio. He's tried to sign on. His camera was not on, so I said mine was when I came on. So he's going to go out and back in. So we have him. Do we have a radio representative sort of on the sidelines or no?
Yeah, as mentioned, so Todd is currently listed as an attendee, so we're just looking into that to promote him as a panelist. Todd, if you obviously you can hear me, you could also try signing off and then signing back on with your BCIT email. That may put you automatically as a panelist. Oh, I see Todd.
Well, I think we got it. All right. Is it my time to go?
Hi, Todd. Yes, sorry, sorry, because he had technical difficulty, so is Dave. So thanks, and we're just at your section now. So people
Okay,
just
great.
waiting a brief, very short time. Away you go.
Okay, great. So yeah, I am one of the instructors for the Radio Arts and Entertainment program. I'm actually a grad from the program as well, going back to the mid 90s. Did my time in the industry through till about 2014, and then BCIT asked me to join them in 2016. And much like what MK and what Ian were saying, I'm going to echo the same sort of thing. We get you ready for the industry in all different types of facets. So that's in performance. We do production as well. We do storytelling, and it's with the name radio, you would think of radio A&E, radio arts and entertainment, we'd be specifically focused to just radio, but that's not the case. We are radio, but we're beyond that as well. We do audio, we do video production, we do news and sports, we do online and social media marketing, as well as advertising and kind of everything that encompasses anything to do with radio. So that's an on-air position, or it's a production position, or creative writing, or production, audio, video production. And like journalism, like MK was saying, we also do the practicums. We do a couple practicums and get the students out into the real world, into the industry, and kind of get them ready that way. As Ian was mentioning, we work hand in hand with them through both radio stations. We specifically, the radio A&E department, run the Evolution 107.9, which you can get in your car if you're driving around in Vancouver on 107.9 FM. We also, all of the projects, all the assignments that the students do, whether that's audio or video, they will be posted to the correct platform, whether that's SoundCloud or that's our YouTube channel. And as journalism has also, we have evolution1079.com for the website, which houses pretty much everything that the students create. So I guess we can move to the next slide here. So yeah, again, you know, like Ian was saying, that beyond what you would expect from journalism, the same can kind of be said with radio. You will see some people really honing in on becoming an on-air personality, like I did through taking the course. But we get right into it. You know, you can see all the different types of jobs that you could apply for. And certainly this is not scraping, you know, the bottom of the barrel, but we're getting there. Like there's a lot of jobs, and it's, as you can see, it goes beyond radio. Social media coordinator, production, podcast production. You can get into sales, news, sports, reporting, on-air news, on-air sports, play-by-play. We've had some of our students get into play-by-play announcing for hockey and other sports, music director, program director, digital marketing coordinating, technical producers, voiceover actors. We've had some of the students become fairly successful in that area as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of career opportunities with the radio A&E program here at BCIT. So we'll go to the next slide. And I think that journalism has us beat by 3%, but we're still pretty proud of that 92% employment rate. 78% of the grads say they were very satisfied or very satisfied with their education. Basically 4 out of 5 students. And that kind of mirrors, if you look over how useful was the knowledge and skills you gained, if you just add up the very and somewhat, you're getting into the 83%. So we're about 4 out of 5 students are really enjoying what they're getting out of this program. And the same thing, I can kind of mirror the same as what journalism was saying, in that, you know, for the first couple of months, we're looking at almost 65% of the students are going to get a job right away. And if you look at the very end of this this slide, we're talking within 6 months, 97% of our grads are getting jobs in the industry or a job in the field that they're looking for. So that's kind of an overview of radio. I don't know if there's another slide. I think that's it. I think. Yeah. So yeah, so I will now pass it, I guess, over to MK to pass it over to TV and video, I think.
And those are great stats for both programs. You're going to see the same thing with television very soon as well. And I think that those of you, especially still teaching, I used to be an instructor. I think that what we always say is anyone who wants work in this field and applies themselves, finds work. It's usually if they don't get work after the 2-year program, it's just because it wasn't a fit for the individual and maybe they move on to other education. So the program still serves them well. I'm now going to introduce Dave Berenbaum, who's going to give you an overview of the television and video program. Dave.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Is my camera working? I'm laughing because we do live television and we do recorded television, if you will, in our program. And behind the scenes, I've been having some technical problems here with the computer, and the fact that it's working is making me happy. The television video production program runs a pretty wide gamut from filmmaking to live sports productions, as an example of live sports or of live production. We run the students through multi-camera production, single camera production, documentary type production, news type production, a little bit of everything. It's a fairly technical program, a lot of hands-on, and like all the other programs, the 4-week practicum at the end is really, really valuable and where most students find their contacts and begin their careers. Looking kind of at the slide, the students do get an opportunity to write original scripts and their own productions. They get to direct. We make them produce and shoot and edit, teach some basic lighting and some more advanced lighting, as well as audio capture in the field. Next slide. There's a whole host of types of jobs that you can get. Some of them are very high up. You know, years after graduation, you can become a director or a producer or a director of photography. All those jobs listed on the screen here are fairly high-end type jobs. That's kind of where you want to get to as you go through your career. But you start off on a film set as a production assistant. You might be able to get into a grip department or the electrics department doing lighting. If you were more interested in documentary production, their crews are much smaller, but there's lots of opportunities and you get your hands on the equipment much, much sooner. And you really play a significant role in the completion of those productions. Our students end up in a variety of places. We've got them working on production trucks for hockey games or in the in-house broadcast for the Canucks or the BC Lions. We have one student, I believe, who was working with the Ellen Show. And most of them are around the city, either doing independent productions, working on film sets, or working in documentary and post-production. The post-production marketplace here in Vancouver is huge. And with the influx of new money coming from Netflix and the other digital streaming services, production is growing by leaps and bounds. I'm getting emails daily from colleagues looking for new blood, as they refer to it. Who's new, who's young, who's exciting, and wants to work hard. Next slide. Like the other two programs, media is a very much a growing industry. Our graduates are working. If you want to work, there's work right now for you. The slide here says 95%. I'd venture that it's 100% of those who want to work. The 95% is probably because some of them come through the program and decide it's really not for them. That would be my guess. I just know that there's a lot of work out there. Starting wage is not bad, and it goes up fairly quickly as you gain more and more experience. And like the other programs, we work really hard at tailoring the program to meet the industry needs. All three programs work hard with their PACs, their advisory committees, to make sure that what we're teaching is what is needed out there in the marketplace. Oh, that's not me.
Okay. Just go back to the entrance requirements. This is sort of stated for all three areas. So for all three of the programs you just heard from, the entrance requirements are similar, although not identical. You have to have your 2 years of English studying in this country. We're in an English speaking country, and 67% in English 12. And then the three programs have their own special requirements as well that was listed there. Probably best when you decide to apply to one of the programs, just double check the website. Everything is very clear in terms of what the requirements are. And there aren't that many requirements. It's just one entrance exam for journalism and an entrance course for television. So I'm going to move into part-time studies. So everybody you heard from and everything we discussed up until now was the full-time program. Those are our 2-year programs that lead to a diploma, and quite very intensive, a lot of hours, a lot of work, and many courses per term. We do have another option that suits other people, and that is to study broadcast and media through part-time studies. And the type of people that we have 3 areas here: journalism, radio, TV, and video, just like we do in full-time. We have a 4th associate certificate that is not listed here that is starting to have a lot of interest, and that is an associate certificate in music business. And I will say, if anyone's looking at that on the website and thinking about pursuing that associate certificate, applications for part-time studies open for any course open October 27th, and the music business one in particular, the courses go in a certain order. So if you're thinking about it, then you would want to start in January. Otherwise, you'd have to wait almost a whole year later, because the first course in the music business associate certificate runs in January. If you want to have more information about that at all, or any of these courses you see listed here, at the very end, we're going to have a slide come up with contact information, and you can contact me to talk on the phone or email back and forth, and I can make sure you're super clear about everything. So we got these 3 associate certificates. Next slide, please. But it's important to know that you don't have to take an associate certificate to pursue part-time studies. Some people take 1 course in preparation to go into the full-time. Some people take a few. It's all self-paced. It's all as you a la carte, as you like it. If this course interests you and the other one doesn't, you just look at the part-time studies offerings and take the courses that you like. They tend to run, each class tends to run 1 night a week or on weekends, and about 3 hours per week. And the semester terms are January, coming up, and then April and September is when they start. And we have courses here in Burnaby and also downtown. And the fees for the courses they're usually about $5.25 for most, but in that range. It says English 12 there, to be very honest. Nobody checks that you've completed English 12. In fact, we occasionally have people come in who are in high school, and that's okay. You just have to have a strong command of the English language to succeed. Next slide. Okay, so as stated, our terms start in January, like January 4th, and then April, early April, and early September. Everything's on first come, first serve. So some of our courses fill up really quickly for part-time studies. So for the January term, you'll see right at the bottom there in bold for a reason. Registration opens October 27th, like way ahead of time, more than 2 months ahead of January. So you want to look for that registration opening. And if you want to take part-time studies in January, you want to get registered. And if you've got 2 weeks between now and October 27th, when you can call me or write me and talk to me if you have any questions at all about any of the courses you want to take. Next slide, please. So this slide, I think, is our last one. And basically it's letting you know that we have 3 more sessions, info sessions, much like this one. We actually have full-time / part-time together. We don't separate ours. So those 3 sessions you see if you want to come back and visit us. Leaving here today, most people can just use the contact information for the 3 program areas, or myself for part-time, and just carry on from here, making specific contact with an individual. Thank you. I think that's our last slide. Is that right? Oh, and there's the contact info. So what you might want to do is take a photo, do a screen grab, jot down anybody or everybody that you might want to speak with, and get in touch with us following this session. And then I think the next slide after that, so we'll give you a minute to jot that down. Then we're going to have any questions that come up.
Perfect. So we currently don't have any remaining questions in the chat, but if anyone does have any questions regarding any of the wonderful broadcast programs, please feel free to throw them into the question and answer section just down below. We have a representative for each of the programs, as well as part-time studies, to answer anything you may have. So we'll just give everyone a couple minutes to throw those in if they have them. And then our next segment, which is going to be business administration, starts at 5:20. So so we will hang out here and answer any questions you may have. And if not, you're interested in BAHR, you can come back at 5:20, and that session will get started then. Give you a moment to grab a coffee, grab a drink. I don't know if anyone's supposed to be having coffee at 5 p.m., but who knows?
I did.
Oh, I definitely shouldn't be. I'm so bad with
So do we just wait for maybe 5 minutes for all the reps from broadcast? Is that what usually happens?
Yeah, just wait we can wait a few minutes, see if anyone has any questions that they want to get off their chest in the next few minutes. And if not, we can hop off and come back when we have business administration program starting at 5:20. And great, we will keep the contact information slide up there in case anyone would like to screenshot those. Some very helpful contact numbers over there. So maybe we can even answer that question live, because that seems like something that maybe people might be interested in. Is would these programs still be a good fit for people with some experience in the field looking for more formal skills?
I just put a written answer as well, and I will ask each person to speak from the 3 program areas, but my answer on the chat was just that part-time studies is likely a good fit for you, because when you have a lot of experience already and you're missing a few little key areas, then you can look at our offerings and fill the gap between what you're capable of and what you're missing. But I'm sure that the 3 program reps would also tell you that occasionally they have people come in with quite a lot of experience into their program areas, because people just know that maybe they have a lot of experience, but they're not getting the work that they want. So they come in and sort of perform at a higher level in order to achieve more.
Mm-hmm.
Todd, maybe.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've had some students that have taken broadcasting courses from other parts of the country, and they want to just kind of get another side of things, I guess. But yeah, for sure. We like MK was saying, we've had people that have had lots of experience that have come into the program and still, I think that it still is a valuable tool for them at the end of the course.
Yeah, I would echo that. We often have people that have a bit of background come into our program they want to hone their skills or they want to add to their toolbox. One student we have right now in first year has some producing background at the CBC, but he just wants to expand what he has and, be able to continue to grow in the job that he's doing. So we see that often. And I would say, PTS could be a good option for you, but the day school programs shouldn't be ruled out either.
Yeah, what I've found is extremely valuable is the practicum that the students go through at the end of term 4. And the relationships that they make with their fellow students is also really valuable. And a lot of what our business is who you know more than what you know. So establishing a lot of good contacts over that 2-year period while you're here is really valuable, as well as honing your skills.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And exactly, I think what sets us apart, all broadcast full-time and part-time, is the networking, and that all your instructors actually come from industry, are usually quite often still working in industry in tandem with teaching at the same time, or recently from industry. People that you're in courses with often are in industry. So it becomes this whole community that allows you to grow your network, grow your employment opportunities, part-time or full-time, whatever suits you best. And one thing I'll add too, sometimes people who come from other countries, they've got an incredible skill set, but they just don't yet have the employment opportunities and network here. So they start with our courses that really gives them their first, introduction to local community.
Right, and maybe MK and David and Ian, you can help me out here, but I know that we've had some students that have some experience, whether it's they have a production course. So sometimes we exempt them from those courses if they take the full-time course. Of course, at the same time, we still encourage them to take the course, even though they've already got the curriculum from another education institute. I'm not sure how that works with the journalism and TV side of things, but sometimes, if you come to the radio course, we can excuse you from taking that specific class if you're already experienced and well-versed in that.
Yeah, we certainly have that with some students as well, that can take whatever credits they have from a previous school or maybe work experience, and they can apply that to a course that they can, not have to do. But I agree with what Todd said as well. We always encourage them to still do it. Right. And to get that experience, and to pick up on what David said, absolutely, the internships and that connections that you get with industry partners is a real big thing that if you don't have that here locally, it'd be a good reason to go into day school.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thank you so much, team. And as a follow-up, would a part-time studies student be able to access practicum placements or different kind of job placement opportunities?
In answer to that question, I just read that. Not formally, but informally. So the benefit of full-time studies is as a formal part of your education. It's scheduled, it's structured, everybody moves through industry rotations as part of your education. And you actually get credit for courses where you go out and do that. In part-time studies, it can happen on an informal basis. If you connect with your instructor or instructors who have industry experience or who are working, I know of many instances where those people help you find employment or get a foot in the door. Or I can think of one right off the bat just recently, a woman who teaches performance development, and she works on film sets, and sometimes she gets people part-time work there. But there are many examples of that but no, it is not formally part of your part-time studies associate certificates or courses. It's just more on a ad hoc basis.
So one more question, which is a bit of an interesting one, is could you talk about the main contrast between the broadcast media communications offerings and something like digital arts and media programs?
Wow, that's a toughie. I think that these information sessions are very thorough, and they have representatives who teach in the program. So I think my suggestion to the person asking that question would be that you attend an information session. And Maria, maybe you can help with the dates on that, an information session for the other area, and then you'll start to see some of the nuances. There's overlap, of course, with all of what we do, but there's also very specific strengths to the other program as well. I think if you went to a session for half an hour to 45 minutes like this, you'd have that answered for you.
One thing to mention is we do have a presentation on digital arts at 6 p.m. if you'd like to attend that one as well. But I guess in general, they are two very different departments. So obviously digital arts, you're going to be focusing more on, I would say, potentially back-end related stuff. So you're looking at 3D animation, digital design, you're looking at web design, media, and technical arts, things like that. Whereas obviously with broadcast media communications, you are focusing on things like journalism, radio, TV, and stuff like that. So thank you so much for that one. I see there's no more questions left in the chat. If anyone has any last minute ones before we move forward, please feel free to drop them in. Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much, everyone from Broadcast Media Communications. Thank you so much for joining us. They're going to hang out for a couple more minutes in case anyone has any last minute questions. But as mentioned, our business administration session starts at 5:20. So we will see you back for that, attendees. Hi, Caroline, how are you?
I'm back. So I guess we have a few minutes, so I'll be back right on time.
Yep, absolutely. We're trying to keep to the schedule to make sure we're not running too far ahead or anything. So we'll get started at 5:20.
Sounds good. I see Amy's here and William. I don't see Charlotte, but she may come in. Okay, see you in a minute or so.
No problem. And welcome back, everyone. We're now going to get started on our business administration segment of Big Info. So joining us for that is a representative from each of the departments. So from the HR, business management, our wonderful Associate Dean Caroline, which many of you met earlier, and also William, who is representing business fundamentals. And without further ado, I'll pass it off to Caroline.
Hello. Oh, my speaker's on. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Great to see everybody here today. As a reminder, because some of you weren't there when I did this, but just a really big welcome to the unceded territories of the Tsleil-Waututh, Squamish, and Musqueam Nation. I'm happy to have you all here tonight. So I'm here to talk to you about business administration. We have a few of our very esteemed faculty that are here tonight to help me out with this presentation. So go ahead, Maria. We'll just go through the first slide here. Or sorry, it's not Maria that's switching. It's Keiju, so thank you, Keiju. Okay, so we're going to cover a few things today. Business administration. What makes us different? What are our programs? Some entrance requirement and so on. So we'll kind of cover some of what you need to know in this session, and please feel free, Maria, they can write in the chat as we go, right? And some people are there to answer questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So they can use the question and answer function, and we have a couple program advisors, international advisors, as well as me and Sheena answering questions as we go.
Wow, lots of us here tonight to answer your questions. I do wish we were there in person, because it's always nice to meet people, but eventually we'll get back in person. But we have a really great crew supporting us in this session tonight. Okay, so we'll move on to the next slide, please. Okay, so what makes us different in business administration? We do, like most programs, but we do have small size classes, around 20, 25 students. So what we aim for, very small. I came from other institution who thought that a class of 35 or 40 was small, but BCIT 25, which is great, which really creates a strong sense of community amongst your classmates. Business administration, we do block course registration. So you choose your program and we register you in the course. It's lots of courses all at once. We tend to give you lots and lots of information. So it's definitely a bit of a commitment. Skills and labs applied to real life situation, lots of hands-on applied work. Our goal is to make sure that when you finish one of our program, whether it's HR or our business fundamentals course or business sustainability or business management, that you're ready to work at the end of the program or move on to the BBA or other programs. Classes mimic industry expectation, again, very hands-on. We develop a lot of leadership and teamwork skills. We have what we call business consulting projects where students, that's in our HR program, our business management and business sustainability program, where students are consultant, work as consultant with an industry professional and develop, kind of address a problem that an organization is having and tries to come up with solution recommendations to the problem. Very high employment rate after graduation. You'll see some of these numbers. And again, we're highly connected with business, industry, and government. We're also accredited through what we call the Accreditation Council of Business Schools and Schools of Business and Programs, which ensures that we have a high quality in our programs. Okay, next slide, please. So we have in business administration, we have full-time programs in human resource management. So those are our day school program. You can enter what we call level 1, level 2, obviously is our first year, level 3, 4 is our second year for the diploma. You can enter at the second year level or level 3 in the advanced placement. We have a business management, which is really kind of the huge foundational program if you're interested in business, or sort of generalist kind of foundational program. You can either, again, do the full diploma or enter in our level 3 or second year at the advanced placement level. We do have an advanced diploma in sustainable business leadership. These are for students that already have either a certificate or a degree. So we're talking maybe a little bit older, more mature students, or if you a lot of our students in that program come from industry. We have our business fundamentals program, which is a nice kind of slow introduction to business skills, and we have our BBA, all these programs funnel into our BBA. Next slide, please. And I'm going to leave it to you, Amy. Here's the baton.
Oh, hi, everyone. So yeah, so the HR management program is really for people who want to make the world of work a better place. So if you've ever had a job, or you might want to have a job where you actually enjoy going to work and you want to make the workplace a good place for other people, then HR is for you. So in HR, we're really interested in talking about how can we create cultures that are positive work environments. We're interested in making sure that people are really productive at work and that they do their best work. So through our program, you will be looking at how do we manage people's performance, how do we hire, train, recruit, skill up the right people for our jobs. We'll also look at how do we keep the right people at work through paying them the right amounts of money, things like that, important things like that, and also rewarding people for the work that they do. So we cover a full range of subjects. The great thing, or one of the great things about our program, is that our graduates are able to enter the CPHR, or Chartered Professional in Human Resources Designation program at the end, which is a really great reason for taking the program through BCIT. Okay, a couple of things just on the CPHR designation. What you do need is you need to have a degree, and that can be in anything at all. So if you already have a first degree, then you can apply for it. You also need to have 3 years with applied HR experience, and also you need to write the national knowledge exam. The good thing for you, if you do take the HR program with us, is that as long as you achieve a GPA of 70% or more, you don't have to write the national knowledge exam, which is a huge benefit actually, and something that if you can avoid it, then I would definitely try. At the end of the diploma program, you're then eligible to move on to take the BBA or the Bachelor of Business Administration program if you do want to get a degree at the end of the program. So that's a really fast way of doing things. I believe you can finish that program within 9 months of completing the HR diploma program. So what can you do when you graduate from BCIT with an HR diploma? Well, loads of different things. I mean, our graduates go into all sorts of different jobs. They work as generalists sometimes, so they do a bit of everything, or sometimes they specialize. So we have graduates who specialize in recruitment and selection, for example, or specialize in compensation, or training and development. So it could be that you end up doing a bit of everything, or it could be that you just do one thing. Our grads work for organizations of all different shapes and sizes, and also sometimes work as consultants. So they work kind of on the edge of organizations and go in and give advice to organizations as well. After about 5 years from graduation, they tend to move, and we see our grads move pretty quickly, actually. I would say even before 5 years, some of our grads will move into advisory positions, into management positions, and may kind of specialize after a few years of doing something more general in one area of HR more than others. So lots of different career opportunities, and also in all different industries. We have lots of grads in the public sector, lots and lots of grads working in business in all different levels. So yeah, it's a great career choice. So in terms of our outcomes, well, I mean, I'm just delighted to be able to tell you that our employment rate is 97%, which is pretty amazing. We have the great pleasure every year of watching our graduates graduate in June, and then we see them all land positions. So we know that this program leads to HR employment for sure. So we have a really high rate of employment. We also have a high rate of satisfaction with the program, which is really, really great. And we're actually doing a review of our program right now to make it even better in the future. In terms of how long it took for people to get a job, you can see there that 42% of our grads actually landed their first position in HR within 1 month of finishing the program. So that's pretty fast. We tend to see that graduates who take a little bit longer, take longer because they're not ready to look for a job just yet. But once they do start looking, they do land positions fairly quickly. I'm going to hand over the business manager. Is that to you, Charlotte?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much, Amy. My name is Charlotte, and I am the program head for the Business Management Diploma program, which is the same in the same department as Amy's HR program, but we are our students are focused on being managers. So we look at saying, if you're going to be the head of a department, if you're going to be the head of a team, you need to learn how to manage. And really in a business, you manage three things. You manage people, money, and stuff. Stuff being processes and maybe what product or service you're offering. And all three of those can have their own challenge. And I would say definitely managing people is probably the most complex. So we spend a lot of time in our program talking about how do we increase the overall performance of your team or your department by looking at all three of that. How do you increase the performance of people? How do you increase the performance of your money? Are you using your resource well? And are you using your process as well? And so really we look at a lot of things about managing a business. Yeah, it's all there. Next slide, please. There we go. I had the delight of being at an event for our program yesterday where we had a panel of 8 alumni, and it was absolutely wonderful. They had graduated anywhere from 3 to about 10 years, so we really mixed up the years, and each of them had traveled a somewhat different road, and you'll see that when we look at the career outcomes, but somewhat of a different road, but they were all in management positions, and they were all referencing back and saying, hey, Charlotte, that first year where we looked at the fundamentals of all aspects of a business, and then we put it together and we looked at the business as a whole in the second year, really helped us move into the positions that we are in now. And they were all in supervisory or management positions. The interesting part for me is that they were in different industries. So A number of them were in IT, but in very, very different parts of IT. A number of them were in large government organizations, and a number of them were in small startups. So as a manager, every industry has that place for you. And so it really says, where do you want to move? What industry do you want to move into? And then you get the opportunity to be that general manager, the sales manager, the department manager in that industry that you're interested in. The graduate outcomes, oh my, we're lower than you are, Amy. We don't have, what was it, 97%? We have a 91%. I'm still very, very pleased. I think, man, employment rate of anything over 60, I think is good, but I think BCIT really consistently across all their programs, and not just the HR and the business management programs, do very, very well. Often our students are maybe taking a little bit more time to find that first job out of the diploma or out of their BBA. Many of our students go on to do the BBA. I'm absolutely delighted with the 96% on the satisfaction. And I heard it again, and I'll reference my panel of 8 alumni yesterday. They said even years after, when they apply for a new job, they still reference back to their time and what they learned in the diploma. So that focused 2 years of learning about being a manager really, really resonated with our alumni. So I was really pleased to hear it, knowing that I was going to be here today and talk to you folks. There we go. And sustainable business leadership must be Tessa. So Tessa, are you in the room? Or is that you, Caroline?
Yes, it's me. Sorry, I was like,
that's you, Caroline. Good, good.
Tessa unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. Tessa Jordan is our program head that had a previous engagement. So I'm really excited to present for Tessa. This is a really wonderful program. So Sustainable Business Leadership is an advanced diploma. It's 46 credits. So it really, what this program does is identify and promote sustainability principles in business strategy and operations. So how can you make your business more sustainable for the future? It's select and apply sustainable business model and best practice that ensures social equity, respect planetary boundaries, and enable economic viability. So really this program kind of exposes business in saying, you know, it's not just about economic benefits, but also about social equity, social justice. And if you do look after these aspects, you will also be profitable. So it kind of puts social perspective a little bit ahead of economic viability. Design sustainable business process and measure their effectiveness. So how do we measure how sustainable businesses are, and how can we do this? So more and more there's various forms of reporting that business have to do in that area. So very forward thinking, this program in that aspect. Takes a system approach to solving sustainability challenges. So it looks at the whole of the business and what can be done from a systemic approach. Next slide, please. So the program is at the higher level. So it's level what we call third and fourth year. So it would be a higher level because it's an advanced diploma. Entrance requirement, you do need either a diploma, an already existing diploma, or a degree, a bachelor in any field. We have students that come from very different backgrounds, from psychology to architecture to even business to engineering. So this is what makes the richness of this program as well, is the diversity that we have in the student population of the program. The delivery is delivered at our downtown campus. It's 2 evenings per week, so it really addresses, it's really designed for working professionals. So I think there's 2 courses per evening, and it's a bit of a mixed mode program where there's also some work to be done online, either synchronous or asynchronous. There's 2 options. You can do this program full-time or part-time. Full-time can be completed in a 10-month period. It's very intense, which means you're in school like 2 nights a week for the year, for the 10 months, and you're covering, again, 2 courses per evening. And part-time, you have up to 4 years to complete. We'll just, so career opportunities, there's different things. More and more companies, especially when we talk about large businesses, hire specific positions, either sustainability managers or sustainability, can become a sustainable consultant to also work with businesses. Climate energy strategist, sorry, I'm jumping here, operations manager, and look at how operations, sustainable our operation, even it's not in here, but product designer or product designer would be another good one. Production analysis researchers, so different companies, especially when it comes to writing reports about how sustainable the business is, that will follow. They're either consultant or researchers. Supply chain analysis, so different things that you can become with this. A lot of our students come in to these programs to supplement their knowledge, to take on different positions within an already existing work context. I think with that, so just to finish off with this program before we go into business fundamentals, sorry. I think I did say it's a 46 credit program. The advanced diploma, it has been running, it used to be an advanced certificate. We changed it to an advanced diploma because we wanted to add some courses, but these are not only career opportunities, but title of courses that you will take are things like the circular economy. You'll learn how a product moves through from birth to being recircled in the economy. We have sustainable business strategy course. We have earth science, earth system and environmental policy course. Sustainable change management is how do you handle change that are made on a permanent basis. So lots and lots of really interesting courses. At the end, I think there'll be names for contact. Tessa Jordan would be the person that if you're interested in finding more about this program to talk to. It's one cohort per year, so the program does start in September. Okay, and I'm done. We'll move on to business fundamentals. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Caroline. Am I clear? Can you hear me? Perfect.
Yes.
So I'm the program head for Business Fundamental. My name's Will. Thank you to everyone before. I'd like to just talk about my program over here. You can take a look at the first, line. The program provides an academic path for many international, permanent resident, and domestic students whose first language is not English, right? They don't meet the general English requirements for a lot of the other programs that we have here. So this program basically is kind of like a bridge, right? We work with the communications department to ensure that the students who come in, they don't have the requirements for English at this very moment, but we make sure we refine their English competency in speaking and listening and writing so that they can get to that certain level where they will have success when they move on to the other programs within the School of Business. The second one that you can see would be the students who want to study a shorter program in business. So we have students who actually are business owners. They come to the program, they come take the classes, they have a plethora of experience, and it's always awesome to have them in the classroom because they get to basically help a lot of the other students who are really new to this business environment. For these individuals, they come to the program because they like to learn about the Canadian background, the Canadian culture, and to learn about Canadian business skills. Right. At the same time, some of them are also hoping to use this platform as a place where they can further refine their English level. Last but not least, at the very bottom, you see that we have a lot of international students who have post-secondary degrees, right? Their bachelor's, their master's, and once again, it is a direct pathway for them to learn about the complex business environment here in Canada. So overall, you can see that we have a vast diversity of students from all around the world. This particular year, we have students from Dubai, we have students from France, from Argentina, from India, from Mexico. It's all over the place, and each one of them, they get to know one another within this program where our classes are quite small. kind of gain a sense of camaraderie, and that allows them to kind of move on together later on into whichever program they go into. And I think that really leads to their success. Next slide, please. Thank you. So over here, you'll see that at the end of the one-year program, so it's quite a short program because it's a bridge program, right? If you don't want to go into other programs, you can certainly finish and be eligible to receive an associate certificate. Right. And this potentially leads to postgraduate work permit later on. A lot of our students, though, they use the option to apply for a level 2 entry into all of the other different business diploma programs at BCIT, and even part-time diploma in a variety of fields. And I think this is really where the key thing is, because if there are students who would like to go into, business management, in Charlotte's program, in Amy's, and in Tessa's, all these different programs, they're able to take the first year classes here in Business Fundamental, where their English is not up to par yet. So the environment that they have really fosters their success. Once they are ready, then they are able to basically enter into level 2, into HR, into management, into all of these other, you can see all these different programs out here, and then basically not have to waste any additional courses. And so it's very, very efficient. So last but not least, some of these students, they go into these particular programs. Some even end up finishing off their BBA, which I believe will be coming up very, very soon. So that's my part, and I hope if there's any questions, please just fire away later on. Thank you very much. Caroline?
Sorry. Hello, everybody. It's me again, Bachelor of Business Administration. I don't think we have Maria Steve Yalous. I guess we don't have Steve Yalous with us tonight, but that's okay. Steve Yalous is our program head for the Bachelor of Business Administration. So all the programs you are hearing about today, definitely mainly our program that you just heard about, can ladder into most programs into the Bachelor of Business Administration. So in the Bachelor of Business Administration, so you would complete a 2-year diploma. William was an exception because it was an associate certificate, but you would then go to a diploma and then apply to the BBA. The BBA would be an extra year if you do it full time. So a student broaden their knowledge with courses that focus on critical and strategic thinking. So at the BBA level, again, we kind of deepen, again, the knowledge of business. 1 additional year after diploma. Only eligible after completing a diploma program. The duration is 12 months full-time, and 2 to 5 years you can do it part-time as well. There are kind of what we call general education course in the BBA, so you can transfer some of these courses from other institutions if you want, or go and get them if you don't have these transfer credits. There are definitely opportunities for international education in the BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration. I believe Global Relations was here earlier to talk to you about this, but there's opportunity to do field schools or double degrees. We have agreement with various institutions around the world. So maybe we'll go to the next slide. Entrance requirement for the BBA, 2 years of education in English, 67% in English studies, 73% in HRMG. So I'm kind of looking, those are not necessarily just for the BBA, they're for all of our programs. 67% in pre-calc or math, the maths are there except for the Sustainable Business Leadership Program. HRMG, which is the program that we talked to you about tonight, that Amy and Charlotte talked about. There's it is a competitive program to get in, apply early. We do have limited space, and there's an applicant questionnaire that is reviewed by the program head. The advanced placements and SBL require different type of requirements. It's all on their website, but either previous studies and so on. Assessment and upgrading are available. So if you don't quite meet some of the requirement, we do give you the opportunity, especially for the advanced placement, to do bridging courses or to kind of upgrade to make it to a stage where you can apply to our programs. I hope I have all of this correct. I don't know if Amy and Charlotte, there's anything else to add. No. Okay. Or William.
No, you did well.
Thank you. Thank you. Advanced placement. maybe Charlotte and Amy, I'll let one of you talk about the advanced placement, because I think you actually know more, and it's nice to involve you. It's usually actually a little bit know more than me with the advanced placements.
Go for it, Amy.
Sure, yeah. So the advanced placement students are basically another set of students, another set of about 25 who join our first years who are transitioning to second year, and they basically double the size of our program. So what we do is we mix our advanced placement students with our first year students and create 2 sets that go through the second year of the program in HR. Business management is a bit bigger, isn't it, Charlotte? You have more sets.
Yeah.
We have 2 in the second year in the HR program. And so basically you can have a degree or diploma in any subject at all. And if you apply for the advanced placement diploma, we allocate seats on a first come, first served basis. So you don't actually need to complete the application form. You just need to prove obviously that you have a degree or diploma. And if a seat is available, it will be offered to you. So the applications are coming in right now. So if you are interested in advanced placement, my advice is to get them in as soon as you can, because we only have 25 seats and they do fill up pretty fast. You do need to do 5 pre-entry courses before you start in September. So if you're applying now, for example, part of the requirement of applying is that you have to have registered for 2 of those courses at the time you apply, but you don't have to have completed them until you actually start in September 2022. So no rush on getting them done, but you do need to enroll for at least 2 of those to show that you're committed to taking the program. So 5 prerequisite courses that will just give you the kind of bridge that you need to get started and be at the same level as the first years who completed the first year with us. Charlotte, do you want to talk about the pre-entry courses for business management?
Sure. I was just going to say, and as you've already said it, but I want to highlight, this is an amazing opportunity for somebody with a degree or diploma from Canada or elsewhere. It doesn't matter where your degree or diploma is from, but allows you to parachute into the second year of the diploma program. So it's an amazing step forward. And the second year is that really, really focused year. So for HR, you would take solid HR courses. For the business management course program, it's all about management courses, and it gives you the most industry experience. It gives you the most industry connections. It allows you to do that business consulting project. It really is just that amazing step into Canadian industry. So if you happen to be, and I'm talking to Canadians or internationals, but if you happen to have a degree or diploma from elsewhere and need a kind of a welcoming step into Canadian job market, this is a 1 year, actually a 1 academic year, 8-month step into the job market, which is phenomenal. So yeah, the pre-entry courses are there. It's like Amy said, business management has 3 because we are brilliant. No, it's whatever reason. And yeah, the degree, the details are on the website, and you can certainly get a hold of Amy or myself to just clarify that to you.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Thank you, Amy and Charlotte. That was very useful. I love that word, parachuting.
Yeah.
I know.
What it feels like.
It feels like that for me. I've been in a lot of meetings. It just pop up. Anyway, but we do have part-time programs as well in business administration. You can do certificates in human resource management. You can do in business management. You have all the credential here. You can also complete, I have a business administration diploma. So you could start, for example, the human resource certificate, and then maybe go to the business administration diploma. So you can vary, they all ladder into each other, and you can kind of, the courses, a lot of the course can transfer from one to the other. You can also go into the BBA once you've completed the business administration diploma. So lots of options. We also, the sustainable business leadership, actually, that I talked about earlier, is mostly offered in part-time studies as well. So yes, lots of options. So we'll just go to the next slide. Part-time studies, depending on which program you're in or how busy you are. Typically, what people, a course is 1 night a week for 4 hours for 12 to 13 weeks. That would be for 1 course. We offer most of our part-time studies course either in Burnaby, our Burnaby campus, our downtown campus, online. And I know in business administration, we're also just starting a new category that we call a blended category, where half your classes will be online and half your classes would be face-to-face, and the face-to-face portion will also include your examinations or exams, which we feel to maintain the academic integrity of the exams. It's always good to do exams in a face-to-face format. Tuition fees are available online, but roughly between $400 and $700. That's domestic fees, plus textbooks. Again, some transfer credits part-time can be transferred to some professional designation, and English 12 or equivalent are required for some of these programs. Next slide. Part-time studies registration. Course starts in January, April, June, or September for part-time studies. So you can start at any time. For us in business administration, so it's mostly highly more January, April, September, and we do have some condensed course in June. Course seats are offered first time, first serve. There's limited amount of seats, so we take 25 to 28 students per class. You don't have, the thing with PTS is you don't have to be accepted into a program before registering. You can kind of dab in and try 1 or 2 courses and then see if you want to, what we call declare in a program. Registration for winter 2022 opens on October 27th. So that's for all PTS courses at BCIT, but definitely for the business administration courses as well. One thing that I wanted to see, because I don't think it was in the slide, and I'm not sure if we talked about that, is for our programs like BMGT or Amy or sorry, HRMG, did we talk about application dates? Was that in the slide? Oh yeah, there it is. Oh no, that's in county official. Okay, go back to the other slide. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but all our credentials, I'm jumping here, all credential ladders. So again, you can take an associate certificate that goes into a certificate, into a diploma, into a degree. I think we talked about that a lot through this presentation. So all our programs are meant to offer this laddering. So we will go to the next slide now. Thank you. So there are upcoming info sessions. For our full-time program, we have something on November 4th. All the information is on our website, December 2nd, January 13th. But one thing that I started saying before is, especially for BMGT and HRMG, the application, you can apply now, and the first round of application will be reviewed in mid-January. And then a second round of application will be reviewed in March, and we tend to get filled up fairly quickly by April or May. We're filled up for the next year. Part-time program, we do have info session coming on October 18th, December 14th, and then one in February. And Sustainable Business Leadership has their own info session, one on November 25th. Okay, are we done so we can answer questions? Thank you. Oops, sorry.
Perfect. Thank you so much, team. There aren't currently any questions in the chat, and we do have about 5 more minutes until we move into digital arts. So if anyone does have any questions they have burning a hole in their question pocket, please feel free to go for it now in the Q&A function just down below while we have everyone here and live and eager to answer questions.
Hey, Maria. Just
yes,
if there is a question, I'll quit talking, but can you, I don't know who's doing the slides, but if you go back a few, there was a young lady, looks like there, that's the one. Whoop, that's the one. The lady who is with the apron, her name is Mariana, and she graduated from the business management diploma program. She's starting her own business, and I don't know if you can read the name, it's Chia. She's starting a business of a special product of Chia. It was fun to see her picture in there. I don't know where Marcom got her from, but it's great to have her there. She is employed. She has a full-time job, but I talked to her just a week or so ago, and it was fun that she is launching her own business as well as, of course, working on the side to make some money.
Yeah, by Chia, by Chia.
Yeah, by Chia. Yeah, support our graduates.
Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely, yeah. School of Business, actually, I did a photo shoot with Marianne a couple months ago.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, business management. Yeah, so one cool thing is I'd say almost actually most of many of the photos used this presentation today, almost most of them are not stock images. They are actual humans that either attended or attend BCIT.
Yeah, I saw a few other students. I won't have to point them all out, but I saw a few other students that I know as well. It was kind of fun to see the pictures in the slides. So yes, you have, Mark has done well getting those pictures through.
For sure, School of Business is very happy to be featuring many of our graduates today. And then I'm just looking through, it looks like we have.
Oh, we have some questions. I've been not paying attention here.
So one relevant question, I think, is how is the program accredited?
Yeah, I think and I'm not sure if that's the answer you're looking for, Sally, you asked the question, but we're accredited by what's called the ACBSP, so Accreditation Council of Business Schools and Program, which is a North American accreditation, which it's kind of our quality control. It's a great accreditation that ensures that we offer curriculum that's always renewed, and that our instructors do their professional development. So we have a lot of criteria to respect with this accreditation. So that's our main accreditation. Now, Amy and Charlotte, I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's the CPHR, Amy, that you talked about that I can think of.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, but basically it means that you don't have to take the national knowledge exam, and you become what's called a CPHR candidate status. You get that status, and then I believe you need to work towards getting a full membership through having a certain number of hours working in HR and all those kinds of things. That's all on the CPHR website if you want more information on that.
Yeah, I think accreditation, it's a regular post-secondary in BC. I don't know.
Yes, thank you. So we are accredited as well, obviously, or through the Ministry of Advanced Education. So we go through some quality control and program reviews and curriculum reviews. We're actually doing right now for our HR program. So all sorts of continuous improvement that we're always consistently doing to our programs. And that's pretty standard across the School of Business and Media.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, everyone. On that note, we will, if you have any more questions that you have, please feel free to leave in the Q&A function. Obviously, all of these wonderful presenters will be hanging out for another few minutes. In case you have any specific questions, please move into the Q&A. And without further ado, we're going to move into digital arts and media. So we are going to pass it over.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, business administration team. So now without further ado, we're going to pass it over to digital arts, media, and design, for which our main presenter is going to be the lovely Associate Dean Susan. So without too much more interruption, I'm going to pass it over to Susan for the presentation with the next slide.
Thanks, Maria. Always nice to get introduced by you. A warm welcome. I'm really pleased that all of you have joined us this evening for our part of Big Info, our department, Digital Arts, Media, and Design. I'm joined by two of my colleagues this evening, Raman Shadmare, who's program head for a few of our programs. He's going to help me out with the presentation. And Terry Card, our admin coordinator, who knows everything about every program and will be assisting with our questions, that you might have for us. So if you gravitate toward the creative sector, jobs that tap your design and artistic abilities, as well as technical skills, our department has a program for you. Now, the creative sector is very broad, and it's growing significantly. It includes all media and entertainment-based activity, graphic design and production, interactive digital media, print production, entertainment, video games, so a wide variety of sectors under that umbrella of creative industries. And it now outperforms most traditional sectors in our province here in BC anyways. BC is becoming a hub for creative companies and creative sector in general, with over about 1,300 companies now just in BC alone. So next slide, please. So this evening, we're going to cover off our full-time programs with you. We have 7 full-time programs that our department offers. I'll review a few of the programs. Raman will come in and review a few others. And then also towards the end of the presentation, I'll touch on entrance requirements for our diplomas, as well as part-time programs. Part-time studies at BCIT is very, very large. 2/3 of our students at BCIT are coming in part-time. So I'll review with you some of the opportunities that are available through our department part-time, touch on student success factors, and then let you know when our info sessions, our next info sessions for our own department are scheduled. Next slide, please. Thank you. So within the Digital Arts Department, we offer 7 programs full-time, as well as a range of part-time programs. Full-time programs, though, are available in 3 core areas. So under communication and graphics, we offer 3 programs. We have 2 programs on the design and creative side of graphics, a short associate certificate in graphic design, as well as a full certificate, a year-long program in communication design. And we also offer a full diploma on the production side of graphics. So taking the work of designers and making it real across a variety of mediums. And that's our graphic communications technology management, or GTech for short, is how we refer to it. In the area of web and mobile, we have 2 full-time diplomas that prepare students to work in the digital and interactive sector. And that's the Digital Design and Development Diploma and the New Media Design and Web Development Diploma. In the area of animation and gaming. And again, in this area, Vancouver is also a significant player. We're an international hub now for companies in animation and gaming, and we offer 2 full-time diplomas, a full diploma, 3D modeling, art, and animation, as well as an advanced diploma in technical arts. So for the advanced diploma, it requires a diploma or a degree for entry. Next slide. So there's a lot of information on this slide. I want to focus you in on the start date and the campus to highlight for you that depending on the program that you're interested in, there could be multiple start dates during the year. As well, just to be aware that our programs are delivered at either the Burnaby campus or the downtown campus. All these full-time programs are delivered on campus right now. We're excited, we're back on campus. And so for the graphic design associate certificate and the communication design full certificate, there's 2 start dates in the year. We've just started our fall intake a couple of weeks ago, and then the next intake point is in the spring, in April. With our diplomas, 2 of our diplomas have 3 intake points in the year. So we start a set of students in January, a set in May, a set in September. And then for digital design, graphic communications, we have 1 intake point in the year, and that's September. So those 2 diplomas are delivered on a more traditional model of start in September, work through to May, take a break, come back in September for second year. 3D modeling, new media, run over consecutive terms. So they're a little shorter, about 18 months in length. And again, we take students in at 3 points during the year. And as I mentioned, depending on the program, will determine which campus you're at. These fees noted here, keep in mind these are domestic fees. For our international students, there's a separate fee table. So I encourage you to go online to get the fees for international students. And of course, always check that you've got the final or the most up-to-date fees, because they do change annually. Next slide, please. So graphic design. Graphic design is a short, we offer it both full-time and part-time. Our full-time program is delivered over 6 months. So it's a very short, intensive program. It combines technical skills, learning the Adobe Creative Suite, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and combines that with design skills. So learning typography, color theory, visual composition and layout, strategic design for business. The program, it's an excellent introduction to graphic design for those of you considering a career in this area, or perhaps maybe you're already working in marketing or have a degree in that area and want to pick up some skills without doing without coming back for 18 months or 2 years for a full diploma. Next slide, please. So we have a range of learning outcomes in the program. As you work through the program, you'll have an opportunity to develop your skills designing layouts, graphic layouts, typographic layouts, explore the fundamentals of working with digital images, and again, learning that Adobe Creative Suite, developing creative concepts, producing effective graphic design. All this is going to lead towards you creating a digital portfolio of your work that you can take and you can show prospective employers. Next slide. Thank you. So a range of career opportunities here. Again, it depends on what students come into, and this is a program where we have students that are just starting out, just trying to get a sense of whether design is for them, and we also have students that are older, have had some time in industry, or have a fair amount of education behind them and want to add this to their toolbox. So it really depends on what you come in with. But a variety of options, career opportunities available. Certainly entry-level graphic design, communication design positions, production artists, digital designers. Although if you're really interested in digital, you'll want to consider some of the diplomas that Raman will be discussing. So a range of opportunities here. Next slide, please. Communication Design Essentials. So this is a 12-month program. Graphic Design Associate Certificate is 6 months. This program's 12 months. It's a partner program with Emily Carr University. So our students are on site taking courses at both BCIT and Emily Carr. The program combines technical expertise, learning the Adobe Creative Suite, similar to what our students would learn in the graphic design, the shorter associate certificate. This program provides a much deeper dive into visual communication and the design process. Now, a unique element of this program is that students can transfer to Emily Carr University at the end of the program. They receive about 30 credits towards a communication design degree at Emily Carr. So again, you'll see a range of learning outcomes here. As students work through the program, they learn to research a client, understand the market for that client and the message that that client wants to convey, developing brand identity for a client, layout and packaging design across a variety of media, and learning to plan production schedules, project timelines. Key element is a series of project courses that students work through, culminating in a major project. So again, another significant piece of work or pieces of work that our students can present to prospective employers. Next slide. Again, a range of career opportunities. Like with graphic design, it depends on what our students come in with. But certainly graphic communication design, packaging design. We've had students that have gone on to very successful entrepreneurial careers, launching very successful businesses, publication and editorial design. So a range of opportunities. Next slide. So graphic communications, our GTech diploma, as we refer to it. This is a 2-year full-time diploma. And this is focuses on the production side of graphics. So again, taking the creative work of designers and producing it, making it real over a variety of mediums. So if you enjoy the creative side of graphics, but really gravitate towards the real and tactile, wanting to produce and see what you produce, this is a great program and one that you should definitely consider. It's a program that's very well supported by industry. We have several bursaries and scholarships available for students, and our industry partners also support the program by helping us keep all our equipment current. We have a large print and imaging facility that we use for the program, for the exclusive use of our GTech students. And so throughout the program, there's a range of learning outcomes. Next slide, please, that you'll be Next slide. Great, that you'll be working through. The program has courses on the business side as well as on the graphic design side and production side. So students do learn the business element of this sector. The focus, though, is on learning how to design and produce a range of materials, marketing materials, posters, large format signage, wraps for cars and buses and ferries, taking graphics and producing it in a variety of ways. Next slide, please. A range of career opportunities with this program. Students go to work for, this program has one of the highest job placement rates of any of our diplomas. Students go to work for a variety of local companies, as well as work internationally, local businesses that hire our grads, Hemlock, Prism Tech, Great Little Box. So our students are well placed in industry coming out of this program in a range of jobs. Some work more on the working with the equipment, some work more on the sales side once they go into industry. Students can also go on to complete a Bachelor of Business Administration after completing this diploma as well. Next slide. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Raman to discuss our web and mobile and animation and gaming diplomas.
Thank you very much, Sue. Welcome everyone to our very big info session. So my name is Rami Shadra. I'm the program head for D3 and Technical Arts, and I have the pleasure of introducing you to 4 of our programs today. Starting with new media design and web development. It's actually one of our very longest running programs in the digital art department. Started back in 90s as a certificate, and later on, after a really good major program review, recently it changed to a diploma, and it's a very robust program for people who like to dip into and jump into the artistic side and asset creation of the new media, and specifically with web development. It's an 18-month full-time diploma program, and it's a really good launching pad for anyone who likes to have a career in the artistic side of the web and mobile design and development. In this program, obviously, you will be introduced to several key subjects of tech, but some of the important ones are information architecture, web design and development, UI, UX, graphic design, branding, creating interactive media, marketing, social media integration, and storytelling. It is an intense program, and it actually is followed by another intense 9-week practicum following the successful completion of your courses. In general, in the new media design and web development, the learning outcomes, as I mentioned, you will be learning a lot. It's over 110 credits, so you can actually imagine the amount of information you will have to go through. But in general, you will learn how to create content and how to manage that content. You learn how to pass on a message through a digital platform by creating a storyline for it. And again, we are not talking about Once Upon a Time in Neverland. No, how to actually support a digital product with a really well-defined storyline. You learn how to strategically create content and integrate them into the platform you are displaying it. Obviously, web design and development is one of the key and crucial learning outcomes of this program. You learn how to create and produce media, video, audio, and how to manage it. You also learn how to create a really good and robust portfolio that could demonstrate your skill sets to the industry that you are planning to start working in. Obviously, we are in the booming tech era. There are a lot of opportunities, but many of the opportunities that our students and our graduates from the new media web development program have been placed to include motion graphic design, web and app design, interactive developer, corporate storyteller, social media managing, new media entrepreneur, because again, a big part of the program is teaching you how to be successful as an employee and as a freelancer and entrepreneur. You learn, you could be a user experience designer, you could be a specialist in web marketing or SEO, as well as interactive marketing specialist, or with some experience with after graduating, you could be a project manager in a new media development company. Now, the next one, which I am the program head of, and usually people think these two programs are the same. So I just want to tell you that they sound the same, they are not the same. But digital design development, the inception of this program was just 1 year shy of 10 years, started in 2012. It's a 2-year full-time diploma program with a summer break in between. So it is still 4 semesters, but there's a summer break. And it is followed by an 8 weeks industry work experience practicum as well. So as you can see, a lot of our programs have that industry experience. GTech does. New media has that. Digital design development has the same concept. In general, digital design development is a really good combination of 3 major learning outcomes: programming, digital design, and business. However, the programming and digital design together are kind of like making up about 80% of the program, and the rest 20% are distributed between marketing and other business concepts. But in one sentence, if I want to explain to you what the D3 is, what D3 program is, it basically teaches you and provides you the education you need through the pipeline of developing and designing a cross-platform application. Some of the key learning outcomes, obviously design is a big part of it. You learn how to come up with an idea, how to change that idea into a vision, and how to design that vision for a more cross-platform web or mobile application. You learn web development, you learn app development, you learn mobile development. You basically learn the languages that currently industry uses in developing multi-platform compatible applications. Now, it could be web and mobile, but again, right now we have a lot of other practices for cross-platform applications. Could be web, mobile, different operating system, could be on a car dashboard. As you guys know, Tesla and a lot of other cars, they actually have an Android interface now. And you learn how to work together in teams. Just about 80% of our assignments are team-based. So that actually really emphasizes on the importance of team play and teamwork. You also learn about how to present the idea you have, how to present the process, and how to present the final product. Career opportunities, like many other digital art programs, basically any tech company, any company that is dealing with their clients or with their stakeholders through a digital platform, they can hire the D3 grad. You could be a web and mobile developer. You could also be a graphic designer if design is mainly what you like to do. You could be a digital media specialist, dynamic media designer, multimedia project manager, interface designer and developer, internet marketing coordinator, web mobile content creator, game user interface designer, digital media product designer. But again, I really need to emphasize on this. A very big chunk of the D3 program is really relied on programming and computer programming. That is why that this program actually has computing department courses being taught into it. So it's kind of like interdisciplinary, actually. Now, one of my pride of joys, although besides other digital art program, 3D modeling, art and animation. This program is very well supported by our industry partners. They actually have constant input in providing the teaching materials for this program, providing the ideas for what needs to be taught. It's an 18-month full-time diploma program. So it's all consecutive back-to-back semesters, no summer break in there. It prepares you for working as an artist in film, television, or game industry. So all of the cool things, such as that unicorn you see, you can learn in this program how to create it. Basically, anything you see in your movies, our students will learn how to create them. The key learning outcomes, you learn how to design 3D models, how to texture them, how to make 3D characters and environment based on industry practice and standards. Because that's what we are always trying to keep up to. We need to make sure the industry is basically reflected in our programs. You can create, you learn how to create 3D animations and animator-friendly rigs for 3D models. You can learn, you will learn how to design and produce textures. Some of these textures are actually procedural, specifically for games. You learn about lighting techniques, how to place proper lights in the scene, how to set up basically a game level in an industry standard, the game engine. We are using Unreal, by the way, in this program. At the end of the program, there is actually like literally a whole term dedicated to you guys developing your demo reel with the supervision of basically all of the faculty members that you have been learning from. Let's say you graduated. What could you become? You could be a character artist, environment artist, animator, texture and shading artist, render artist, prop artist. The number of positions you could jump into are quite vast. That is why the program is also a heavy program, because it's supposed to train you to be able to, one, know your passion, identify it, and find the right place to work in one of those companies and organizations. I actually did not know my picture is there, but good to know. So technical arts. Technical arts program is one of our youngest programs and yet very successful. The technical art program is, we launched it back in 2019 for the first time. It's the first and only one of its kind in North America. So there is no other technical arts training program in North America. There are some in Europe, but again, as part of master's program, it's an advanced diploma. So that means you must have some form of a post-secondary credential coming into this program. We deliver it on weekends, Saturday, Sundays, 9 to 5. So that gives you a time to, if you have work, you don't need to leave your work to attend this program. You can definitely rely on your weekends on that. There are a couple of courses that they have blended delivery method. Students learn how to become problem solver or creative problem solvers. So there are a lot of big terminologies, by the way, in this program, but at the end of the day, you are basically that mechanic behind the race car that no one sees, but they see your work working. They see that car running. So basically, you learn how to be a problem solver. You learn how to be able to find solution for problem. And if you can't find it, you build it. What are you going to learn? You learn how to design and develop tools for 3D modeling, for texturing, for animation. You are basically learn how to become a tool maker. You make tools for others so they can do their job easier. You create procedural environment, shaders, dynamic effects. You create procedural rigs, automatic rigs for 3D models. You improve the process of pipeline, regardless of if it's effects or games. You plan, design, troubleshoot, and oversee the project going through. And definitely, there is a huge emphasis on this communication strategy, because as a technical artist, you are connecting the development side and designer side of the pipelines together. You speak the both language. You graduated, so what now? Obviously, you are a technical artist. that is one of the job titles that you could actually get. However, there are some more specific ones: shader artist, rigging expert, technical animator, tool developer, and a lot of others. And you are not limited working in games. One of our students actually was hired by a company last year who is that is working on medical imagery. So they needed a technical artist to be able to transform all of the data they are getting from their scanners into 3D models and animate them.
It's over to me now.
Yeah, back to Susan. There you go.
Thanks, Robin. So you heard about all our full-time programs, or 7 full-time programs. So I'm just going to touch on entrance requirements and review part-time programs with you. So in terms of entrance requirements for our full-time programs, we require 2 years of education in English in an English-speaking country with a grade of 67%. If you're missing that requirement, there are other ways to show competency in English. Further information is available on the website, and I know my colleagues here on this, panelists, can also answer questions. For our GTech diploma, we also require math, the equivalent of grade 11 math here in BC at 67%. And again, there are other ways, if you don't happen to have that, you can show competency in this area. We actually have 3 programs that have a portfolio review: communication design essentials, 3D animation, and also technical arts. All 3 of those programs have a portfolio review process. Primarily, we don't want it to be viewed as a scary process. We really just want to make sure that that it's the right program for you, and gives an opportunity for the program head to answer questions that you might have. The 3D modeling, art and animation diploma, there's also a questionnaire that goes along with that. And again, really just wanting to make sure it's a good fit for you before you take the step of joining the program. Next slide, please. So we have a range of part-time programs, and as I said earlier in the presentation, about 2/3 of our students at BCIT are coming in part-time. So lots of opportunity here for those of you that might be working full-time or have or part-time or have other commitments, or just can't come back full-time, or at a stage in your career where that's not why you're considering further education. In the area of communication and graphics, we offer a short statement of completion. So this is about 12 credits in length, very short program, a statement of completion in digital photography. This program's popular with marketers, social media coordinators wanting to pick up skills in how to take and manipulate digital photos. Our graphic design associate certificate, which I discussed earlier, is available part-time, course by course registration, evenings, weekends. And I should say that through part-time studies, most everything you see here is available online. As well, we have some courses that are available at our downtown campus and some at the Burnaby campus. But a lot of what we offer through part-time studies is available online. So if you're not in the city, you can still take advantage of our department and the programs we have. Media techniques in the area of communication and graphics. We have 2 full certificates, media techniques. These programs combine either business courses or marketing courses, general business or marketing, depending on the certificate, with our graphic design courses and other courses in the area of digital photography. There's a range of courses that students can choose from. In web and mobile, we have a short associate certificate, Digital Media Foundations, that draws on courses from our digital design diploma. As well, we have a UX UI design associate certificate that draws on courses from our new media diploma. Very popular program. Again, courses available online. And then we have a web technology program that's available in a shorter associate certificate, as well as a full certificate. In the area of animation and gaming, we also offer a short statement of completion using Houdini. Houdini is a software application used for visual effects and dynamics. Next slide, please. So student success, just a couple factors here that we like to see, and if you're not already strong in this area, you'll definitely be strong, or these areas definitely be strong once you come through our programs. We are a Department of Digital Arts, so we expect and assume you've got some artistic ability coming into the program, good communication skills, creativity, strong work ethic. You'll need that strong work ethic, and you'll need good time management skills to get through our programs. Our full-time programs are very intense. The diplomas in particular, students are completing 20 to 25 credits a term, so 7 or 8 courses a term, so you'll need good time management skills, and if that's not an area where you're strong in, you're definitely going to be strong in it once you come out, so that once you graduate, you'll have good time management skills, good teamwork skills. We certainly encourage that, and most of our project work is based on teamwork here at BCIT. Next slide. We also offer department info sessions, so an opportunity to hear our program heads, along with Raman. We have a few other program heads as well, and they join us for a department info session, and we have a few coming up. They're usually held once a month. We'd love to have you join us, and at those sessions, we also have a breakout session, so you have an opportunity to have a one-on-one with the program head as well. Next slide. So with that, we're at the end. This slide gives you just information if you want to contact one of our program heads directly. Their contact details are here. They always love to hear from prospective students. So you have their email address and phone number. But with that, I'll pass it back to Maria, and we'll open it up for questions. Any questions that haven't been answered yet?
Perfect. So one question that hasn't been answered yet, but I'm sure it will be quite soon here, is required to submit a portfolio for the new media web development side? I can see that Raman is currently answering that question. And Terry is working through are the credits for part-time programs transferable to the full-time programs? I can see that that's also being answered. So if anyone else has any last-minute questions, we do have about 7 minutes before we move on to marketing management. Please feel free to use the Q&A function. We'll be happy to answer them as best we can.
While we have our last few questions, I'll just note as well, I encourage all of you, if you are considering applying to BCIT, please take advantage of the information on the website. There's quite a bit of information there. We always encourage students to go to the program matrix and really take the time to look at the courses, read the course descriptions. You can link through to the course outlines as well, and that's a great way to compare and contrast the programs so that you find the program that's the best fit for you. So lots of information there, and as well on the website there's a contact us page, and on that page you'll find the program head. So if you haven't noted it down here, it's available on the website as well.
Alrighty, well, on that note, there are not currently any more open questions to answer, so we'll take, I guess, a quick just 5-minute break before we get started with marketing management at 6:40 p.m. During that time, obviously, Raman, Susan, and Terry are going to hang out for a couple minutes in case you have any last-minute questions just to throw into the Q&A function. But if not, go grab a drink of water, grab some super late-night coffee or tea, I guess, and we'll see you at 6:40 for marketing.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, or if anyone's joining us just now for a marketing management presentation, welcome, welcome. Joined with us today will be the wonderful Associate Dean Morgan Westcott for the marketing management program. And so without further ado, I'll pass it off to Morgan for the presentation.
Thanks, Maria, and welcome to this portion of the session about marketing management. And I'm going to focus mostly on our 2-year diploma program in marketing management, but really looking forward to sharing the world of marketing with you. I happen to be a graduate of the marketing management program and had a successful career in industry. And a lot of the people who work in our department are grads who come back and teach because we're so passionate about marketing and the careers it can offer you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what makes us different from some of the other marketing programs. I'll talk extensively about our full-time program. I'll mention our degree program. I'll talk about entrance requirements, part-time studies, and let you know when you can come get to know our department a little bit better. So you may have heard other people speak to this already, but what makes BCIT different is we have these small class sizes, these sets, these cohorts, and these become your best buddies, your friends, your compadres, and your brothers and sisters in arms as you move forward through your program and you get to know the content of the program. What we do in our labs is we apply real life situations. So in our program, you will be writing marketing plans, you will be applying digital marketing strategies, you will be creating Instagram campaigns, you will be looking at search engine optimization right in the classroom so that by the time you get to the workforce, you are ready to go. We're also quite famous for our leadership and teamwork skill development. So our grads are highly sought after by industry because they know how to work in a group setting and collaborate and cooperate with each other. We have practicums and internships, and that really leads to a high employment rate after graduation. It's quite easy to transition from our program to the real world because you've already been doing it all along, and we're highly connected with business, industry, and with the government. So marketing management is a 2-year full-time diploma program. And what happens is the first year is a common business year. And then in the second year, we offer options or specializations in entrepreneurship, marketing communications, real estate, sales, and tourism. So as I mentioned, that first year is a common first year. All of our marketing students take it. It's where you're going to take those foundational classes. Your lectures are going to be taken in big groups with all your other sets. And then when you get to the labs, as I said, you're going to be sitting down and you're going to be applying concepts. Now, when you're studying general business, these are not just marketing concepts. These are all of the foundations that you need, including business math, economics. And what students love about the labs is that, I don't know, for me personally, math was always a bit of a challenge. It's so great to have the instructor there. You're in that small class setting. You can ask as many questions as you need until you get the concepts and you really understand the materials. And everybody who is teaching you has worked in business, has worked in marketing, or has worked in their field. And so they're really strongly connected to industry. So at the end of first year, we have an internal info session and all of our marketing students get an opportunity to meet grads, meet the specialization program heads, and then our first year students apply for their specialization. So when you apply to the program, you'll just apply to marketing management and join us for the first year. And then you'll get to go through a process where you figure out where you want to go with your career, you figure out what your passion is. We'll take a look at your grades, and then we match you perfectly, I think, with the option or the specialization that's going to give you the best match for your the career that you want to have and the goals that you have. And so again, that's where we would match you with your second year specialization of entrepreneurship, communications, real estate, sales, or tourism. And so when you get to that second year, you're going to be taking more specialized courses. If you're in communications, you're going to be learning more about search engine optimization and media planning, media buying, campaign management. If you're in the sales program, you're going to be taking more specialized courses on selling skills, negotiations, you know, how to sit down and get that contract exactly the way you want it. And then all of our students have some kind of work integrated learning component. So everybody does some kind of a consulting project with a real world industry client. And then almost all of our programs have a practicum or an internship. So just to highlight these specializations for you, if you go into entrepreneurship in second year, it's probably because you're interested in becoming an entrepreneurial business person. It doesn't mean that you're interested in starting your own business, although a lot of our eShip students are interested in that. But really, this is about training you so that you can be successful in either creating, guiding, and managing your own business or doing that for others. So if you have a big picture outlook and you're a creative problem solver and you really like that whole, you know, maybe you watch Shark Tank or Dragon's Den and you get really excited about like, okay, I have a business idea. How would that be made real? Or if you just want to go and be a change maker in the world and go into existing businesses and make a difference. And certainly we will train you to identify, evaluate, and act on business opportunities. So this is a very trends focused program. So as I mentioned, right, the lectures and labs are really designed to help you with your hands-on real-world learning. All of the practical exercises relate to entrepreneurship. So you're going to be looking at case studies, right? One of the case studies is you look at a business that didn't do well, a coffee shop that didn't do well, real business. And you as a group will analyze, well, what went wrong and how to fix that, and really practice and refine what you're going to learn so that when you graduate, you can really hit the ground running. So one of the program head for this option calls this the quiet curriculum. And I would say that the quiet curriculum applies to all of our marketing options. But absolutely, we are going to teach you to be flexible and work effectively. We're going to teach you how to conduct yourself professionally in a business environment, how to work effectively with management and with your peers, how to complete world-class results and deliverables on time. There are a lot of due dates. We put a lot of pressure on our students, but it's all to help you understand how to work independently without supervision and be able to be accountable for measurable results. And this is why time and again, industry comes to us and says, we want graduates from your 2-year marketing program because they are so ready for the workplace. So if you end up in the entrepreneurship specialization, you could become an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur. So you could start your own business, or you could apply your skills to any company worldwide. So a common example we use is TELUS. They used to be BCTEL, phone booths and landlines, and now they have a whole health division. So TELUS didn't start off as a healthcare company, right? They hire in experts to help them grow their business and make the right decisions to move in that direction. And so this really could apply globally or locally. Really good graduate outcomes from this particular specialization. So you can see here that for the vast majority of students, it takes them under 2 months to find a job, good employment rate, good hourly wage, really good, strong outcomes there. So in second year, you might want to explore marketing communications, which is really all about achieving business objectives by engaging in relevant conversations and relationships with your current and potential customers. So a lot of understanding consumer behavior, again, very trends focused, but really the goal would be to understand the story that data is telling us. So what we see the numbers, but what's really behind those numbers, and how can we develop brands and messaging and plans to build and nurture those consumer relationships. So these are some of the topics that you will learn in this program, and I've mentioned a few of them already. Certainly you'll learn about experiential marketing, email marketing, media planning and buying, campaign design, all of the tools that you'll need to be able to execute in the real world. So industry connections in this specialization come in the form of a capstone course, which is a real world project that you will do in teams for a real world client. So one of the clients that comes to mind that they had one year was Lush. So if you've ever shopped at a Lush or been in a mall and smelled a Lush, you'll know that they're a really popular personal care brand here. So every year a real industry client comes in and the communication students work with them. Another industry connection that happens in this specialization is called Schmoozapalooza. And this is the marketing communications industry's largest networking event. So this, for the industry, is the biggest connecting networking event that they have. And it just so happens that it's put on by BCIT. That's how central this specialization is to marketing communications. And here are some pictures of what it looked like in Schmooze not too long ago, and a future that we are hopefully going to be returning to very soon with in-person events. So when I'm talking about the marketing communications industry, I'm talking about agencies. So for example, McCann or BBDO, but also many companies, almost all companies need to have their own in-house marketing departments. So our grads work for companies like Whitecaps and White Spot and TELUS and Rogers and BC Hydro and Lululemon, just a few of the companies that hire our marketing grads to work in their marketing departments. Again, really strong graduate outcomes. You can see that, again, it's taking our students not a very long time to find work. They found the program very helpful in that, and really good employment rates. So in second year, you might decide to specialize on the hand in glove side. So we talk a lot about marketing and marketing communications, but we also have a very strong and unique program focused on sales. So two of those programs that are highly specialized, but first, our professional real estate program. So the real estate program helps you enter the commercial, industrial, or residential real estate, and it helps you with all of the foundational practices that you need to be successful in that area. And here are some of our real estate students at an industry event. So they are engaging with industry. And really, as you can imagine, especially if you're in the Lower Mainland right now, this is a really dynamic industry, but it's also a global industry. And Vancouver is really looked to as a global leader in real estate development. You are going to be able to look at the trends. You're also going to understand the core legal requirements and ethical principles. You're going to be able to know how to decide the most profitable approach for creating a real estate investment opportunity and be able to adapt and innovate to changes in the market. So there is a real estate association that we saw a picture just a couple minutes ago of their Meet the Pros industry nights. And really this, again, this helps with those extra learning opportunities and hands-on opportunities and a chance to collaborate with different real estate organizations. And so graduates who complete the real estate option, they can work in a number of different applications. So a lot of people, when they think of real estate, they think of people buying and selling homes. This is so much more comprehensive than that. Industrial, residential, development, crown corporations, investment companies, property management, mortgage financing, and then the marketing side of the real estate business. So professional sales is a little bit broader in focus, and it helps students learn the methods needed to develop new customers, negotiate complex contracts, and manage relationships. And so most of our graduates pursue careers as account managers and business developers. Those are the top two job titles of students that come out of this program. And so here you can see a group of past students who chose the professional sales specialization in second year. And I think if you ask them, why did you go into sales? Most of them would say because they're really passionate about helping businesses grow, and revenue and business growth really happens when we're selling. So not only do you learn the sales process, but advanced selling methods, all areas of a professional sales education are addressed. And really, this is about higher level consultative selling. So it is fantastic if you have experience working, say, in retail sales, that kind of environment. But this is really a step further. This is business to business selling. This is developing a business. This is doing complex presentations, demonstrating, persuading clients, negotiating and closing, really providing that customer service and customer loyalty and that customer relationship management. I was actually listening to an ad in the car. So I do listen to the radio, and I heard an ad for a company, and their point of distinction is their service, right? And so I happen to know some of our grads work for that company. It's called Cintas, and they're saying, yeah, you could order a bunch of aprons off of Amazon, but what we provide is so much more. And that's really what professional selling is really about. So about that customer care and service at that highest level. So our sales students conduct a practicum, which is a fancy word for work experience, and it's 2 days a week for 9 weeks in the last term of the diploma. Our graduates are in such high demand that there are more jobs for our sales grads than there are sales grads. So we have a professional sales career nights, and most of our students are offered a full-time position during their practicum. So when we talk about these companies, I'd mentioned Cintas. You can see up there SAP, Pepsi, Xerox, Sophos, ITIQ, really in the areas of technology, industrial and manufacturing, consumer goods, business services, and media. So quite a wide range of career opportunities. What you're going to be doing is helping these businesses grow and advance your career at the same time. So not surprisingly, 100% of grads were very satisfied with their education in this program, and it can take a little bit longer for these grads to find work sometimes, but as you can see, right, where I think math skills not the strongest, but we're at 93% in under 2 months finding employment. So really highly sought after grads. So last but not least, tourism management. That's actually a picture of one of our grads who now works at Tourism Langley. We have such opportunities in tourism and hospitality. These are tourism and hospitality, the third largest industry in BC. There's going to be 100,000 new job openings in the next 5 years in BC. And while things have been tough for the industry, if you sit where you're sitting right now and think, well, what's the one thing that everyone wants to do when COVID is over is they want to pack their bags and they want to travel. So we're imagining a big uptick in tourism and in this industry over the next 18 months. So tourism students learn all of the business basics of marketing, how to write a marketing plan to grow a business, how to pitch concepts to industry experts, how to attract international markets and develop sustainable destinations, and really a lot of networking and making sure that we have the skills and attitudes that we need to be successful in the industry. So again, lots of hands-on and active learning in this program area. There are projects, site visits, and a field study, which is it's a field trip where you actually get to go and experience some of the tourism attractions. A business consulting project as well for a real industry client, and a 4-day-a-week practicum in the final term so that you can try out your employer and they can try you out as well. So here's a picture of some of our students on a past field study. So when I say you get to try out the tourism experiences, I mean, you really get to try them out. And grads from this program go on to work for a number of different companies, both globally and locally. The internships lead pretty much directly to jobs in hotel and resort, event management, as well as destination marketing. So think tourism or Destination BC, Destination Vancouver, leisure travel, and also in the technology fields. So students who complete our 2-year marketing diploma, whatever option you end up in, all of our students from our 2-year marketing diploma are eligible to continue in the Bachelor of Business Administration, which is a 12-month full-time or 2 to 5-year part-time. So if you think about it, you do a 2-year diploma, and then in that third 12 months, that third year, you can walk out with a degree. And so lots of great opportunities there. Entrance requirements for our 2-year marketing diploma: 2 years of education in English in an English-speaking country, 67% in English 12 or English First Peoples 12, 67% in these maths. And assessments and upgrading are also available for these. So I'm not going to speak too much to the part-time programs, but thank you for putting the list up there. Almost everything that I've just talked about is available in a bite-sized piece in part-time studies. So if you're not interested in the full 2-year diploma program, I highly recommend you attend one of our part-time studies info sessions so you can drill down for more information. Next slide, please. So we have upcoming info sessions for our full-time programs. Oh, we'll just go back to that slide real quick. November 3rd, December 1st, or January 12th of next year. And as I mentioned, if anything that I've said is appealing to you and you want to just take a piece of that, that programming, you can come to a part-time studies session October 20th or December 15th are those info sessions. And now we'll flash up the contact info for the department. And I would say if you have general questions and they're not answered tonight, you are always welcome to email our general email inbox, which is study_marketing@bcit.ca. Especially if you're not sure what option you're going to end up in, that's not a problem. But that's the best way to reach us, study_marketing@bcit.ca.
Perfect, and thank you so much. So if you have any general questions or any program specific questions after that presentation, please feel free to leave them in the Q&A function below. We have one request for to go back to the part-time programs. Keiju, could you scoot us back a couple slides? And
I'd also just like to offer a small correction. So Dion, you would ask what courses you recommend for someone interested in going into real estate. So real estate has been, will be an option, and it will be available to our students next year. So if you are interested in real estate, the program that you would want to apply to is the Marketing Management 2-year diploma program. We do not have a part-time studies real estate offering as of right now. And so if you apply to marketing management, then you would be eligible to select real estate as an option in your second year. If you do email realestate@bcit.ca, they will provide you with that same answer, but I just wanted to let you know that. And Dion, you had also asked, is there an option for part-time classes for professional sales? And I see that Sandra is answering your question, but yes, there are sales courses available in part-time studies if you wanted to take one class or two classes through part-time studies as well.
Perfect. So if anyone else has any remaining questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat. I see one about what is the deadline for applying to marketing management programs?
There is no deadline. So we are accepting applications until we are full, and applications just opened last week. So just take some time and put together your application. And for the full-time marketing management program, we accept applicants right up until the program starts.
Wonderful. So if you have any remaining questions, please feel free to throw them into the chat. If not, we will be getting started with operations management at 7:20. So it is in about 18 minutes. So you have a bit of time to hang out before we move over to that one. As mentioned, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the Q&A, and we will be hanging out answering them as we can. Thank you. Hello and welcome back, everyone. We're happy to have you back from our little break. And now we're going to move into operations management, which will be presented by the lovely Associate Dean, Phil Raymer, who has, in my opinion, the best facial hair in the entire school. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Phil.
Thank you, Maria. You're way too kind. You know, some of us have to grow hair where we can, you know. All right. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. And let's get started. So next slide, please. So our agenda, we're going to look at what makes us different, look at our programs, touch on the degree program, look at entrance requirements, a bit on part-time programs, and department info sessions. Next slide, please. So what makes us different? We have small class sizes. So each cohort or class size is about 24 to 27 students. And all the registration of courses is taken care of. You're registering for a program. We do the scheduling for you and assign you to all the courses. Skills are in labs. So it's lecture lab, typically combination. Some courses are all lab and really applied hands-on learning. And we're trying to mimic the industry expectations. So you're being taught by professionals that have worked in industry. They know the business, they know the skills you need, and are ready to train you in those skills and have you ready for industry work when you leave the program. Lots of teamwork skills developed, so be prepared to work in groups a fair bit. Those groups will change over time. Business consulting projects, we'll touch more on that later. Our employment rates are very high after graduation. Strong connections with industry. So let's go to the next slide. So we have 3 full-time programs: the Business Information Technology Management Program, Business Operations Management, and Global Trade and Transportation Management. Next slide. So just a little bit about how these are connected, but if we look in the middle at a product or service company, really it's most companies today are both. It's not just one or the other. So if you think about your cell phone, yeah, the cell phone itself is a product, but you're also getting the service from either TELUS or Rogers or whoever your provider is. So that company in the middle providing product and or service is supplied by the suppliers on the left, and they distribute through perhaps some kind of distribution center on the right. And there may be retail locations that have a in-person customer experience or an online sales opportunity. Next slide, please. So the Business Operations Management Program, we've circled almost all those nodes in blue. And that program, the grads from that program can basically work in any company. So anywhere in the supply chain. It's about managing all of those product or service processes. So not just managing it, but designing, improving, controlling. Next slide, please. Adding in global trade and transportation management. That program grads are concerned with moving the materials or service between the organizations. And that may be domestic or it could be international. Next slide. And now BITMAN, or Business Information Technology Management. So that's about connecting all of these different organizations in some way, or it can be within the organization as shown at the bottom in the bottom image. And having all of those different processes connect electronically with each other, of course, with software and Ethernet, internet connections, that kind of thing. Next slide, please. So the Business Information Technology Management Program, or BITMAN, you know, it's about cloud computing, artificial intelligence, providing cloud-based solutions to organizations, either within or across multiple organizations. And it's not about, you know, writing a lot of software itself. It's about taking applications that are readily available and connecting those together. And these can be custom applications or somewhat standard, and providing a solution for the organization. So graduates of this program are typically business analysts. We'll look more about that in a minute. We have two options in this program. The artificial intelligence management option just started this year. So our second year students have just begun that last month. And our original program is the enterprise systems management option. Next slide, please. Career opportunities. So I mentioned business analyst. So that is a significant position for grads of this program. There's plenty of other as you grow through your career, an IT manager, consultant, project manager, and so forth. So plenty of opportunities there. Next slide. And the graduate outcomes. So our employment rate is very high and our grads are very satisfied with their education. If we look at the bar at the bar graph at the bottom, so within 6 months, pretty much all those 87% are employed. So most people are finding their employment in the first 1 to 3 months, that time zone. The salary, $25 an hour to start, is quite good. And that's the data. Next slide, please. The Business Operations Management Program. So that's, if you recall back to the supply chain diagram, that's about working in any of those nodes in the organization. And these grads are managing the flow of material, the resources, and the information through the business. That includes purchasing, inventory management, supply chain coordination, ERP or enterprise resource planning systems. Those are the systems that run the business with software. They make the business more competitive, again, through business analysis, project management, and process improvement and design. And grads are highly sought after. in any company. And again, you can work in any kind of business. It isn't a focus on manufacturing. It's all types of businesses. Next slide, please. Here, and those are just a number of industries that our grads are employed in. So quite a broad range. You can pretty much work in anywhere you want to go. Next slide, please. Career opportunities. So the obvious one, operations manager, but project manager, there's plenty of consulting opportunities, quality analyst manager, and so forth. Thank you. And the graduate outcomes, again, employment rate is very high. Looking at the bar graph at the bottom, grads again are employed in the first 3 months. So, and the demand is still strong for our grads. Salary is quite high as well for a starting grad. Okay, next slide, please. So the Global Trade and Transportation Management Program, some of you may have been looking at this program in the past, known as the International Business Management Program. So we've renamed the program and we've trimmed it to just one program. We used to have 2 options. We're now down to just a single program. And this, again, is about moving the material between organizations, either domestic or international. So you're dealing with importing and exporting, transportation systems, managing inventory and supply chains, again, both domestically and internationally, conducting international negotiations, and building relationships, of course, with partners domestically or internationally. Next slide. So the curriculum is focused on, first of all, fundamental business, like all 3 programs. Most of the first year is fundamental business. And then in global trade and transportation management, you're focusing on logistics and transportation, global trade, the importing and exporting rules in multiple countries, inventory management skills, and cross-cultural negotiation. Next slide. So here's a sample of positions in the different areas. So 2 areas being global trade and the other being transportation management. So think of one of the global trade as importing, exporting, opening new markets in other countries for a product and or service. Whereas transportation is more focused on moving materials both in and out of the country or across the country if it's local. Or domestic, I should say. Next slide, thank you. And here's our latest stats. Employment rate 100% within the first 6 months, and again, most within 1 to 3 months. Grads 100% satisfied, which is doesn't get any better than that. Hourly wage is 21 per hour. Okay, next slide, thank you. And all 3 programs ladder into the Bachelor of Business Administration program. So if you would like to get your bachelor degree, you can take the 2-year diploma program, then launch into the BBA and do another year to complete your graduate or bachelor's diploma, pardon me. Entrance requirements for the diplomas, 2 years of education, English speaking country. 67% in English studies and 67% in math. Assessments and upgrading are available, BCIT. Next slide. Advanced placement. So if you happen to have a degree or a diploma currently and work experience, you may be able to enter our programs typically at term 3 and complete the whole program in 9 months, or essentially the 2nd year. Typically, each program will have some bridging courses, so you may not have all of the equivalency of the first year. So we have some courses that typically run in the summer to catch those students up, and then they can enter into level 3 in that 2nd year, September. There's a special application process for that. You should think about that. If you're thinking about that, it takes about 8 weeks. And you should speak with your program head about that. You can explore that at the info session coming up. We'll talk more about that. Next slide. These are the professional associations associated with all of our programs, and these are the go-to organizations for our grads and those working in industry. And you may recognize some of them, but these are definitely the ones you want to work with. Many of them have professional certifications. Many of our programs have material that leads into certification, and not completely, but a significant part of the way. Okay, next slide, please. So business consulting projects. So this is an opportunity for you to apply all the learning from your program and work with a real client in business. We source the projects. Students are also welcome to source projects. We'll vet those. And these project courses typically run 10 weeks in the spring or about 15 weeks in the fall. So the business operations management and global trade programs have them run in both. There's one in each. And Bitman is just one in the spring. An example of a project that did very well for Craftsman Collision is saving that company $600,000 a year. Just from the project. So 3 students worked on that project. And we have other examples. We did one a few years ago for spud.ca, and similar number, about $578,000 in savings, again, from a student project. So quite significant opportunities for our grads. Next slide, please. Part-time programs. So we have a number of part-time studies programs. Our business analytics program is a graduate certificate, so you do need a degree to enter that program. However, the others just have basic entrance requirements, English and the appropriate math or prerequisites depending on the course. You can learn about those again at upcoming information sessions. Next slide, please. The part-time studies programs, you're typically taking one course is one class per night a week, 3 to 4 hours. It could be on the weekend as well. There's multiple dates and times that courses run. We may have courses that we have different courses that run every week. Same course, for example, could be running different nights or on the weekend. So take a look at that if you're interested. Classrooms are Burnaby and downtown. Tuition fees, you can see the range. And again, English 12 or equivalent is required to take part in those programs. Next slide, please. Part-time registration. Courses start January, April, and September. And it's first come, first serve, limited number of seats, of course. You don't have to be accepted into a program before registering, so you can just register for a single course or multiple courses. And there's the date, October 27th, for our winter programs. So those are the ones that start in January. Next slide, please. Upcoming info sessions. So the full-time programs, and that will also include the business analytics program, because it is considered a full-time program from a funding point of view. So October, December, and January. The part-time programs, again, October 21st and December 16th, different dates than the full-time programs. Okay. Here's our contact information. So our program heads are listed there. So for Bitman, that's Malcolm. For BOM, that's Linda. And for GTTM, that's Jackie. And program advising is listed there as well. Questions?
Perfect. So we don't currently have any questions in the chat. So if any of our remaining attendees have any questions they'd like answered, right now is an awesome opportunity to throw those in the chat. We'll be hanging out for a couple extra minutes. But for those who have heard all the information they'd like to hear, this actually concludes our big info day. It is for people who have stuck through the whole time. That is amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. For those that are just popping in pretty recently, or just for operations management, we hope you found all the information helpful. As mentioned, we do run departmental as well as some part-time studies, as well as some program-specific info sessions throughout the month. So those are all available on the website. And yeah, as mentioned, this recording will be posted on YouTube if you would like to view it again later or share it with somebody who wasn't able to make it. And with that, we bid you all a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be hanging out here for a few more minutes, just in case anyone has any last minute questions they'd like to ask in the chat. Other than that, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Maria. And if you have questions specific to a program, you are welcome to email the program heads directly. They'd be happy to help you. Other possibility is we do have a student for a day program as well. So if you're interested in looking at a specific program and want to go to school for a day and join students in their classes to see what's going on, you can do that.
Okay, well, on that note, Phil, it doesn't seem like we have any program specific questions at the moment, so you are free to head off if you'd like to do so. We will likely hang out for just a couple more moments just in case.
Okay, thank you, Maria.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.